Just can't take this damn parade. Who cares? Joe, there's a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Anyone who gets scared by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was...
All right, welcome in 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray with you all night long. Could be a hat and T-shirt game for the Boston Red Sox tonight. And we'll have you covered throughout the night here. The only place where you can get live, local commentary in the area. And if you'd like to call in, the phone number is 617-779-0985. And we're on YouTube. I already see Prince Humperdinck and Sean ready to go in there. Just go to youtube.com, search 98.5 The Sports Hub. And if you create a screen name, you can chat right into the show. I like to read them. And as Sean said, Joe is letting it ride tonight, and I am. We'll get into the Patriots stuff. Vrabel versus Ben Johnson tonight, guys. Put that one in our rundown tonight. Who's been better, Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel? Because my choice was Ben Johnson for the Patriots job. Last night we did a little bit of Drake May versus Bryce Young. I gave you player A versus player B. Player A was better than player B, but that's Bryce Young was player A there, but people didn't want to hear me. So we'll get into more of that. Oh, Bill Chisholm, Celtics owner, spoke today. That happened. But we're Red Sox right off the top tonight. They're underway right now in Toronto, and with a win, the Red Sox will be playoff bound. And we'll lead it off there with our opening take, presented by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning day or night, always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. The Red Sox magic number is 1. How about them Red Sox? I thought at one point they would struggle to even make it there or back themselves in. Now they just need one win. And I guess at some point a Houston loss, who did win today, to earn their first postseason berth since 2021. It's been a while, people. This night show has not been able to go on a little bit of a Red Sox run here for the playoffs. So it's different for me. But after last night's 7-1 win, the Red Sox seem to be in a pretty good place. Garrett Crochet was the ace. An outstanding acquisition and arguably the best of the offseason. And he should also be considered for the Cy Young Award in the American League. We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. But my take is the way the Red Sox played against their own division this year was different than years past. The Boston Red Sox versus the AL East over the last 4 years hasn't been good. Going back to 2022, they went 26-50. 23, 24, and 28. Last year, they went 25 and 27. You know what the Red Sox record is this year against the AL East? 32 and 19. Think about that. That was always something we could point to about the struggles for the Red Sox. They couldn't compete in their own division. 32 and 19 this year, and again, they got another one tonight. That's an absolutely outstanding record considering where they've been over the last couple of years. Now, this sets up the conversation, everybody, about next opponent. Yankees or Blue Jays? Blue Jays have lost 6 of 7. They should be the team that the Red Sox want to play. Hell, the manager of the Blue Jays last night mentioned the sky isn't falling, but I don't know. Everything else is there right now. Everyone at least thinks it. Everyone else does. The Yankees are hot. They're mashing the baseball. They're starting to get hot at the right time. And in that ballpark, anything can happen, and it's probably somewhere you don't want to play. But the Red Sox have had success against the Yankees, and the guy that's pitching tonight for the Red Sox has also had excellent success against them in Brian Bayo. So I wanted to just credit the Red Sox this year and how they've played against their own division on top of the Garrett Crochet signing, etc. Like, that's a reason that they're one game away from being a playoff team. But I mentioned the Yankees are hot. You know who else is hot? Masataka Yoshida. I got a call last week for someone saying, why is he even on the team? And he hasn't been great, and his power numbers weren't there. But did you know he has a 994 OPS in the last 8 games? In the month of September, he's played 16 games. He's had 61 plate appearances. He has 19 hits. He's batting .333. He scored 8 runs, has 11 RBI, 5 doubles, and has a home run. Before that, he was bad. He had 26 hits and 116 at-bats. He was batting .224. He had 13 RBI and had 2 home runs, and one of them was against a position player. He's starting to get hot, and it's at the right time, and they need him right now. Another thing to mention is Romy Gonzalez. When you look at the Romy Gonzalez in the month of September alone, he's batting .369. It's 3rd in Major League Baseball. His .403 OBP is 14th. His hard hit rate is 5th. So, you know, over the last week, no team in baseball has put more runners in scoring position than the Red Sox. I know they leave a lot of guys on base, but they're batting .275 this year with men on base. And this is just the last week, excuse me. I know, but they've put a lot of guys on base. So as far as their hitting goes, they're doing it. Their bullpen, I think Justin Slayton now is that late-inning right-handed pitcher they wanted. With Whitlock and Chapman at the end of the bullpen, the team's coming together, and they believe in themselves. When you look at the Red Sox as a whole, they traded their best player and went on a run. They had growing pains with some of their youth. Roman Anthony gave them a spark, but it was a gut punch losing him. But their starting pitching carried them for months. They had ebbs and flows to this point. Yes, they're not perfect. What they are, though, is a playoff team after an aggressive offseason and a franchise-altering trade. The future does look bright for the Red Sox, but the present has a chance to go on a little bit of run, and they have a chance just as good as anyone in the American League. Good pitching, good hitting, and bullpen with defense, that's a recipe for success. And the Red Sox are one game away from the playoffs, doing all of that at the right time. Now, though, we're going to look at it a little bit here and say, how do you set this thing up now? Yankees or Blue Jays? Who you want? We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. You can also check us out on YouTube tonight. Just go to youtube.com, search 98.5 The Sports Hub, and you can join the chat. We got Skaz here tonight as well. We got football as well. I got a pick for you. You don't want to miss that. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
Lefty has pulled that off. Garrett is leading the major leagues in strikeouts. He's number 2 in innings pitched. He's tied for second in wins. Put away Santander. And he does. He strikes him out. Caught him looking. Riding right there. 97. That pitch tonight. One away. Swing and a miss. He couldn't reach it. 97 to strike out Kiner Falefa. One gone. 1-2. And in there. Caught him looking. Strike 3. 99. A little something extra. And that's in there for strike 3. A straw with a debate on that, but he gets him 1, 2, 3 in the 8th.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. We're with you all night long, baby. Come hang out with us. Gaz is here as well. The phone number 617-779-0985. Yankees or Blue Jays? Who you want? Who you got? You just heard there coming back from break. Ooh, Crochet was on last night. And in a few, I will begin the Garrett Crochet Cy Young campaign that no one else seems to be on besides me. I shouldn't leave Skaz out of this. Maybe he's also a part of it, but haven't heard it anywhere else. How come, there's no campaign for Garrett Crochet to be the Cy Young Award winner? Everyone's just sold at Scooble? Like, what are we doing here? You see what Scooble did the other night? And what his team's doing compared to what Crochet did for his team and what Crochet's doing? Don't big games matter? Like, don't those things matter? We're just not including the fact that someone choked and his team's choking down the stretch while Crochet and his team are actually making it to the playoffs and just they're not backing in by any means? I'll get to that in a minute here, but I asked Yankees or Blue Jays. Our chat wants the Yankees. The chat wants the Yankees. Coconut Fish in our chat says, Masataka has 8 multi-hit games out of 16. He's locked in. Yes, he is. I want the Yanks in a 7-game series, says Dawback. I don't think it can happen this year, but that's what I want. Okay. Bring on the Yankees. I want the Blue Jays. I want a team. I know they can mash. And I know Gosman has been very good, but he got smashed the other night. Most hits he's given up since May against the Red Sox. I do think some things are falling apart there for the Blue Jays. I know that people love Yankees Red Sox. Like they love that, and I know you want it, right? You want to play the best and all that, but sometimes you got to play favorable matchups too. And when I mentioned this last night, but as far as all the playoff teams, the Red Sox are 1 game behind the Blue Jays against all that competition. So a win tonight for the Red Sox not only clinches a playoff berth, but now they've tied Toronto for most wins against playoff teams. So I want the Blue Jays. And I know, careful what you wish for. I've been there, I know. Careful what you wish for. But to me, I know they've dominated the Yankees this year. The Yankees are getting hot right now. Judge hit his 50th last night. That's a team I'd probably stay away from right now. So I'll mention a couple other things here. For the 16th time this season, Garrett Crochet allowed 1 or fewer runs. He shut out the Blue Jays in 8 innings. Nobody in Major League Baseball has thrown for more innings, 205, struck out more batters, 255, and has the second most wins of any pitcher, 18. And the Red Sox went 23-9 in games that Crochet pitched in this year. There are some really big accolades for Crochet as well in his first season with the Red Sox. He's one of 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball history that are 30 years old or younger in their first season with their new team after being traded in the offseason to have 200 innings, 250 strikeouts, and a 2.7 ERA. Those pitchers are Garrett Crochet, Nolan Ryan, and Steve Carlton. It's a pretty good list there, Skaz. To me, that's impressive. You get traded and you go 200 innings, 250 strikeouts, and a 2.75 ERA, and only 3 people have ever done it, leaving a team to another team. To me, that's good. That's historically good. It might even be Cy Young good. I don't know. 18 wins? Is that good? To me, that's good. 250 innings. Is that good? To me, it sounds good. Garrett Crochet in his first regular season in Boston went 18-5 with a 2.59 ERA, 205 innings, 165 hits, 59 earned, 46 walks, 255 strikeouts, and a complete game. The Cy Young case versus Skubal is on. You ready? Crochet versus Skubal. If you want to go by win probability, Crochet 4.98, Skubal 3.87. How about clutch? Do we like clutch? Crochet plus 0.81, Skubal negative 0.99. On top of leading the league in innings pitched and strikeouts, Crochet helps his team win more than Skubal helps his team win. Would you agree with this, Skaz?
I would agree.
Those are facts, right?
Facts.
Just want to make sure that I'm not working in narratives. I'm working in fact. So more strikeouts, more wins, better for his team.
Facts.
Crochet. Skubal the other night had a chance, right? What's his team done? 1-9 in their last 10 games?
That is a fact.
Thank you, John Cena. Thank you, sir.
Steve Carlton, better than Nolan Ryan. Garrett Crochet, if he wins the Cy Young, better than Nolan Ryan.
Do you know the last Red Sox pitcher to win the Cy Young?
Porcello? So the other one, the one you said last night, really was the surprising one. That it was something with Eduardo Rodriguez was the last pitcher to do.
The last pitcher to have 250 innings, was it? Oh no, was it 250 innings or strikeouts? No, innings. No, I'll find it.
I think it was 200 innings plus, and he has. I don't think Rodriguez had 250 strikeouts. I think it was 200 innings.
The last Red Sox to have it is Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Which is like...
It feels forever ago.
Absolutely stupid. Cy Young, baby. Why not? Don't wins matter? Don't being 23. They went 23-9 when he pitched this year. That's good, right?
Good.
Plus, how many games did they blow for him? Dude should be... You could make the case that Garrett Crochet should be a 20-game winner. They blew one, right? They blew a couple of games this year. And I'm not being a homer. No way am I. I think Skubal's awesome. Who's been more important to their team this year? Some people will say, oh, well, Joe, the Tigers are... He's a part of the reason why the Tigers are struggling right now. And when Crochet struggled, he got picked up by the rest of the staff. Speaking of that, the Red Sox magic number is 1, as we mentioned. But a little awkward situation. Lucas Giolito is 5 innings away from 150, which would trigger a $250,000 incentive. He's on pace right now to pitch the final game of the year. Now, if they go to the playoffs, he probably won't pitch. Do the Red Sox just give him that $250,000? Do they just do that? I would. Why not? I don't want him pitching until the playoffs. He needs the rest. He's off the injury. He's been walking guys in 6 of his last 9 starts. He's had 4 walks or more. I think the guy, if you put a little money in his pocket and give him some time off, I think he could be very, very valuable in the playoffs. And isn't that why you signed him? To be a guy in the top of the rotation that can help you out in big situations. He's been good all year long. I'd give him the $250,000. I'd rest him. And that little security and that confidence could go a long way in the playoffs. And not to mention, this is probably Bayo's last start of the regular season. You get him right tonight as well with Crochet on regular rest. Pitching staff put themselves in some really good spots. All right, 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Rex. He's in the car. What's up, Rex?
What up, Joe?
How we doing, bro?
I was at... dude, how are you, man? You doing good?
I'm great, man.
Hell yeah. So I was at the Bruins game preseason in the Garden the other day, that first one they had.
Woof.
This kid, Blue Mel, looks legit. Like, he was flying all over the ice, good position, good defensive plays. If he doesn't crack the roster this year, I will be super, super disappointed. And, like, even the limited amount we've seen from everybody, in the preseason, I feel like the Bruins could be a scrappy fringe playoff team this year.
Whoa. All right, Rex. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to go there, but the win the other night, didn't make me think they completely sucked.
Isn't that kind of the fear, though, that you're like 8, 9, or 10? And I guess if you're 8, anything can happen in the hockey playoffs. But if you're 9 or 10, isn't that just the death zone? You're the Atlanta Hawks of the mid 2000s.
Yeah. I will say this: that Blue Mel kid, though, he's mentioning, Fluto thinks he should be on the second line with Zacha and Arvidsson.
Yeah, I don't know if that says more about the Bruins roster or about Blue Mel. I don't want to crap on the guy, but he's 25 and he's been bouncing around the AHL. He was with Dallas up and down. Like he hasn't really popped anywhere. I'll say that, but maybe he needs an opportunity. At this point, I want to see everybody for this Bruins team. They should all get a chance.
Yeah, like Middlestat, Patra, Janot.
How about Isamont?
Isamont, Corrali, Kastelik. What a fourth line right there, huh? Where's my boy Hustadinov in Minton? Remember that night they traded for him, and I go, I don't know, Skaz, you want to try this one?
Yeah, we.
That was when they made that trade. I went, oh boy.
That's when we needed Howie, right there.
That was one where I went, oh boy, tough name right there. Let's talk to Colt in South Carolina. What's up, Colt?
What's up, Joe? Quick on the Red Sox here. I think I know why Bayo's better this year. They can just actually play some somewhat decent defense in the infield and play to his play style. I don't think he's any better. Just they cleaned it up a little bit.
I think he's better. I think his demeanor is better, and I think he has more confidence, without a doubt.
Oh, the control of his emotions is definitely noticeable this year. So credit to him for that, at least.
And I wanted to credit Pedro because I think Pedro's worked with him on his changeup, and I think his changeup's been better. But again, Pedro's worked with other guys, and he's worked with like Ruby De La Rosa, and that didn't work either.
Yeah, I think Bayo right now, the way he's looking is like the way he pitches kind of reminds me of like prime Daisuke. If that makes any sense, like a better version of it.
Prime Daisuke. Yeah, remember he won that 15 wins, was that year?
Pretty damn good.
He was really good. He was really slow, though. Daisuke.
They're going to need Bayo to be damn good to win anything in the playoffs here, but hopefully they can do it. I'm rooting for him.
Daisuke wouldn't work with the pitch clock these days.
No.
He's like Giannis at the free throw line.
Different era.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You have a good night, Joe. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Where did the Bruins people come from tonight, huh? Here I am doing campaigns for Garrett Crochet and the Red Sox making the playoffs, and people are sneaking in Bruins calls. Kathy's in Quincy. Kathy.
Hi. I don't think the Bruins have a chance of doing anything. They haven't even won a Stanley Cup in 14 years. So why do people go gaga over them? I would go gaga over the Red Sox in tonight.
All we hear is Radio Goo Radio Gaga, Kathy.
That's right. The Bruins haven't done anything in 14 years, 2011.
I mean, they have won championship in 40 years, right?
Right. 2011 was the last time they won the Stanley Cup. They haven't done anything since. That's because Sweeney is cheap. He's even cheaper than John Henry. Bye, Joe.
Hey, Kathy. Thank you. She hung up on me. All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo Goo, Radio Gaga. All right. Wow, people snuck a couple of Bruins calls snuck in there, huh? People are excited after that preseason win the other night. We have a couple of games coming up. I think there's one this weekend, then Monday night.
Monday and Friday next week,
Thursday,
I believe. Something like that.
Yep, 'tis the season, everybody. We'll be interrupted by games. Imagine that. Games. Real hockey and basketball games. But you know what I'm talking about right now? Baseball. My campaign for Garrett Crochet to win the Cy Young Award. Crochet tied for first in wins. Just a little below Skubal in ERA. More strikeouts, more innings, more strikeouts per 9. The WAR is close, and the walks hits per inning, Skubal. But, come on. This is better than... I think the team that's more successful and the WAR for his team, F-WAR, it's Crochet. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll hit the headline here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Bye, Joe.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Red Sox win and they're in. They take on Toronto. Brian Bayo's on the mound. No score right now, though. Top of the third inning. Patriots going to have, supposedly, Christian Gonzalez back this Sunday. Jared Wilson.
I think the signature is they don't do a lot. What they do really well. And that's what he's looking for. And it goes to the same thing. If he can get his guys in position where they know what to do, then they can fly around and play physical and make plays. And that certainly is happening. What I see on film, that is happening for that group on both sides, where they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They have some wrinkles, but it's pretty good, just clean football and guys playing hard.
Saying the Patriots don't do anything great, but they do it well. Whatever they do it well. Nothing special there. I took that as a shot, but what do I know? Everything I hear, I just try to bring it to the table and bring facts is the way I like to do it. But there are a few things about the Panthers that people might not know. I don't think the Panthers are a great roster. If I was to compare the Patriots roster to the Panthers, Ted McMillan was somebody that the Patriots were in on at the draft, but they didn't go with him. He missed practice yesterday, but was limited today. He's a good player. Big receiver, someone that Bryce Young loves to throw to. Now, the Panthers, I mentioned Bryce Young. Bryce Young was the number 1 overall pick who struggled last year. After 3 games in the Canellis offense, he was benched for Andy Dalton, and immediately Andy Dalton got the team a win. And they kind of needed that structure for a bit. They went back to Bryce Young, and he was very successful towards the end of last year. Chuba Hubbard is their running back. I'm sure you know him. They signed Rico Dowdle in the offseason. They drafted Trevor Etienne, who is the running back in Jacksonville's brother. So, they have pieces. None of them are great. They drafted Xavier Legette a year ago. He's been injured. Hunter Renfro's now back for them. But they do have some pieces. Like Damian Lewis is a nice little piece on their offensive line. Taylor Moton is another good player there. They have decent players, but as Wilson, as of right now, it looks like, and Ben Brown will be the left guard for the Patriots. I don't like that matchup. I'm going to tell you right now. Derek Brown, he'll win that matchup. But they have some other nice pieces, though. Guys like J.C. Horn, really good receiver. They've drafted a couple of nice players as well. But overall, their roster isn't great shakes. And this should be a winnable game for the Patriots this week. They opened at 4-point favorites. It's now 5.5. The league knows what the Panthers are. Thin roster. Head coach that's young, bad football team. I'm reading this from Andrew Callahan of the Boston Herald. The list of healthy above-average Panthers stops after Derek Brown, who's a defensive tackle, young corner J.C. Horn, right tackle Taylor Moton, left guard Damian Lewis, and running back Chuba Hubbard and Ted McMillan. Their first-round receiver, who's been very good, he's dealing with that calf injury. So they had a 30-0 shutout win last week. And Callahan says that it was completely gift-wrapped by the Falcons. The Panthers had 108 fewer yards, more penalties, fewer first downs, and third down conversions. They averaged a measly 4.1 yards per play. But there were 3 Atlanta turnovers. So the Cats might be prowling, and of course they got their first win. But I think we know what the Panthers are. 30-0 shutouts, no joke. For the Patriots, though, turnovers is their story, right? They lost 1 versus Vegas, 0 versus Miami, and 5 against Pittsburgh. And if the Pats want Sunday to be the cinch it should be, the big key is holding on to the football. I think Bryce Young's an improved player. He was the number 1 overall pick a few years ago out of Alabama. He wasn't ready to play right away. He is short, but he can move in the pocket, and I almost wonder if this Patriots group can be good against a moving quarterback, a very mobile quarterback. So I didn't have the Panthers as any contenders this year. I think people did have the Patriots as it. I can be honest and tell you I think the Patriots have the better roster here, and I think Vegas thinks it. Now, if you're a bettor and you follow, betting analysis, usually teams that have a shutout respond the next week and they struggle. The team that lost at home, close game, generally responds. So I think that's why you're going to see a betting line of right around 4.5. But with some of the injuries that the Panthers have, this should be a win for the Patriots. Quite frankly, I think the Patriots should win. So I have high expectations this week for the Pats. I did a little bit of a Bryce Young versus Drake May last night. I know in hindsight, Drake May probably has more talent overall. I just wouldn't discount these two quarterbacks being almost equal. I know some people are going to roll their eyes and say, look at Drake May's numbers. He's a top 10 quarterback this year. I mean, Bryce Young's moving up the list too, though. And I know that people are disappointed, right? Like Chuba Hubbard's not running the ball well. Jatavion Sanders, one of their better players, really hasn't, progressed. Bryce Young's, though, has had some moments, especially in 2024. And last week he did enough. But he's listed as 28th in the league as a QB. I don't think anybody had them shutting out the Falcons a week ago. But is this the week that maybe they can attack the Patriots secondary, considering they've been giving up almost 300 yards a game? I expect Bryce Young to have a pretty good week. But in the end, the Patriots and their talent should be the difference in this one. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I did want to get into teams with no turnovers this year. I'll tell you who they are. And there's a football game tonight. I got a couple of picks. I'll give them to you coming up on the other side. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
98.5 The Sports Hub. I got Amazon Prime on in my in the studio right now. Hey, when did the blazer with the hoodie become a fashion statement, guys?
A fashion statement, I would say, is strong, but I believe that's just Andrew Whitworth. Is that who it is?
Yeah,
he's almost like a cartoon character at this point, whereas he's like Peter Griffin or Homer, where he just wears the same thing every single day. I feel like that's the only thing I've ever seen him in.
I was told I look like him.
I mean, you're both bald.
He's got more gray in it. I look great for 43.
He's got a massive noggin, too. He's got a big head.
I got a size 8. You think, yeah, he's a professional
I don't
athlete.
know, man. Yeah.
He's bigger than me.
Yeah.
He has to be bigger than me.
He's a monster.
But the blazer with the hoodie, they never really... Eddie House does it, too.
I haven't seen Eddie with that look. I'll have to be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, it's like... I mean, I love a good blazer. I wear it all the time. When I did television on Fridays for the weekly spread, which I'm no longer doing, and I'm available for betting analysis if anybody wants it, just to throw that out there. The blazer with the hoodie. Sounds like a movie. All right, I got a couple of bets for tonight, but just real quick. 3 teams that have not had a turnover yet this season. Do you know who they are, Skaz?
I looked at the rundown, so yes, I do know.
The Buccaneers, which is wild because they have, so many different wide receivers this year and some turnover. The Buffalo Bills. And last but not least, Daniel Jones and the Colts, Indiana Jones.
That was the real shocker for me.
Do you know what their record is?
They're 3-0, right?
All of them are 9-0. So there's a little something about turnovers and winning and losing games. Is that a factual stat?
Turnovers bad.
Turnovers bad. You don't turn the ball over, you win. So I wanted to throw that in there. So normally I like to give out props for the night. I think Seattle wins on the road only for there's a couple of reasons why I'm against the Cardinals tonight. Number one, the Cardinals struggle at home. They're just a team that struggles at home. They're without James Conner tonight.
Patriots can relate to that.
Yep, that's true. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, tomorrow night, I'm pumping that one up all night long. It's unacceptable. Do you know that everyone I've talked to that's gone to a game over the last year or two has said that they haven't won? When do they win? Except for Joe Milton, of course, which we don't have to talk about that. So tonight, I'm going Seattle -1.5, where you can bet the money line -125 just to win outright. And I'm going over 43. I do think both teams get into the 20s. You can bet that too if you want. So both teams will score 20. Seahawks over 43. That's 3 picks for one night. No, I got no props. You got anything?
Give me Trey McBride anytime.
He can't score touchdowns.
He's due, Joe. He's due.
Do you know what the number is?
It's like +200, I think, +195.
That guy, remember there was a thing, he went 13 weeks in a row without scoring touchdowns? You know who else always struggled to score touchdowns? Pop Douglas, but he did one week 1. I just don't
feel
know.
Like Jacoby Myers struggled for a while there, too.
He could never get into the end zone. Great players. Oh, you know who else was it Julio Jones? I'm trying to remember who it was that always struggled.
That feels right. He had maybe a season or two where he just couldn't get in the end zone.
He did everything before the end zone, though.
The anti-Chris Carter.
When we looked up his numbers the other day, he's a Hall of Famer.
Who, Julio? Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Numbers-wise.
He's the same as Jonathan Baldwin, though, right?
The reason why it got brought up was, and you might not have been here, but I was making my annual Wes Welker to the Hall of Fame that I do every single year, but it wasn't crapping on Edelman. Edelman had only 6,000 career receiving yards. So if you think about the Hall of Fame, the lowest receiver in the Hall of Fame was Calvin Johnson with 11,000 receptions. 6,000 for Edelman, 11,000. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not getting in, but Edelman has the best postseason numbers adjacent to who? Jerry Rice. And my comp was Hines Ward. Hines Ward won a Super Bowl MVP, won 2 championships. He's been on the ballot for 9 years and hasn't gotten in. That's my comp to Edelman. So if that guy can't get in, why should Edelman? It wasn't crapping on Edelman. It's just I'm just trying to say that would they ever lean towards postseason accolades? Wes Welker in 6 years did more than Julian Edelman in his career. I've been saying that for years, guys. I've probably been running that one for about 8 years now.
You think that's your most long-running take at this point?
Right now, yeah.
It's got to be up there.
I mean, the one I got right now is, people don't like this one either, but the best offensive coordinator the Patriots have had over the last 5 years is Matt Patricia. Nobody wants to admit that one, but I'll just give you the facts if you'd like.
I know. You had that Bailey Zappi one going for a while there.
Oh, yeah, no, not a team has scored 30 points in a game for the Patriots since Bailey Zappi. Yeah, that one. But, we could pull out a couple of the special teams ones for Drake May and really make it work. But I'm not going to do that to everybody. So, go Seahawks. Go Chickens. Why do they call you ever heard that? They call the Seahawks chickens?
I don't know if I've
You've never heard that?
I don't know, yeah.
All right, maybe it's just a thing.
I'm not too familiar with the Seahawks. The 12th man is all I really know.
Well, the Seahawks have been very good defensively this year.
And Sean Alexander. Did you see that today?
Yes.
Speaking of Seahawks.
So who okay. What was the defensive back's name?
Antonio Cromartie.
Who has more kids?
Sean Alexander, I believe. 14 is...
14 kids?
That's a lot.
Is it one woman?
Is Joe? That's a question I don't have the answer to, but I believe so.
I mean, a woman can have 14.
Joe,
I'm not going there right now.
I
don't want to ask those questions on the air. But can that really happen?
That was the Twitter, headline I saw today. He announced it on some show.
I saw it.
Yeah. He was on the cover of Madden. One of the greatest Seahawks of all time.
I don't want to know that answer.
He's going to need a whole suite when he goes to a game now.
Dude, you can only get 12 in a suite at the Garden.
He's going to be able to field a team.
And you can put the kicker and the long snapper on there too.
Yeah, they're running special teams. Yeah.
So 11.
He can do
12.
7-on-7s with his. They can run a full 7-on-7.
So you get 11, right? Punter 12, kicker 13, snapper 14. Boom. They got them all, baby. He's a thoroughbred. All right, we got to get to the headline. I'm Joe Murray. Mike Vrabel versus Ben Johnson. How's it looked? We'll do all that coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Tell Tire Studios, WBZ FM and HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Beasley Media Group Station.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The magic number is 1. The magic number is 1. One love, one life, one need, and the night, one. We're not the same. We get to carry each other. Oh. Yeah. Thursday night football. Seahawks and Cardinals. Seahawks now 1.5 point favorites. And who's at practice for the Patriots today? Well, it's not Jared Wilson. Ben Brown, though. No score on the Red Sox and Toronto. Brian Bayo on the mound. Headlines, they are brought to you by Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipe blending. Drains by James, slow drain, clog drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, The Sports Hub.
And I think by building and doing things the right way and believing in what it is that we feel like is an identity, that hopefully that will take care of it. I mean, I think the more that you put yourself in close games and the more that you put yourselves in those situations that you have to, be able to have some favorable outcomes. You have to be able to respond and you have to be able to get stops in the red zone, or you have to be able to take care of the football, or all those things that are.
That's Mike Vrabel. He's the head coach of the Patriots. You guys know who he is, right? Well, when I said I didn't want Mike Vrabel to be the head coach of the Patriots, it was because I wanted an offensive-minded coach. I believe Skaz felt the same way. I don't want to speak for him, but I believe you felt the same way.
Yeah, I wasn't all in on Ben Johnson either, but I did not want Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, some sort of offensive-minded quarterback that could work, a coach that could work directly with the quarterback, and then maybe have someone handle the defense. Right? I mean, that's...
Yeah. Yep.
So now the Patriots have Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator.
Woof.
That nobody wanted.
Including the head coach.
Yep.
Who he's already taking shots at.
Weekly.
Bi-weekly.
A lot of weeklies. Yeah, right now I'll go bi-weekly, sure. And then Mike Vrabel's the head coach who's the defensive coach, right? Because the other defensive coach is out for the health issue. So, like, do they have a defensive coach, or is it Mike Vrabel that's the defensive coach? So, this is why I wanted Ben Johnson. I wanted someone of the ilk of Ben Johnson. I don't mean to use the word ilk, but that's what I have. So I wanted to look up the numbers. Mike Vrabel, through 3 weeks, has played the Raiders, Dolphins, and Steelers. Do you know what their combined record was last year? 22 and 29. In the first 3 games, they have 6 turnovers. It's 29th in the league. They have 27 penalties. That's 28th. And their offense have scored 60 points. It's 21st in the league. Ben Johnson and the Bears, through 3 weeks, have played the Vikings, Lions, and Cowboys. Their combined records a year ago was 36 and 15. Woof. So, Ben Johnson's offense and team has had 3 turnovers. That's 16th in the league compared to the Patriots' 6. That's 29th. Same amount of penalties almost, though. 26 for the Bears. They're 25th in the league. Patriots have 27. And points, this is the one I would go to, Skaz. The Patriots have scored 60 points, 21st in the league. The Bears, top 10 offense, 76 points, 9th overall. So when we talk about the two, the penalties are the same. And I guess I could go back and say Gerard Mayo, at least last year through 3 games, the team was very disciplined, and they did not turn the ball over. And maybe that had something to do with Jacoby Brissett not being able to do anything or throwing the ball because he ran a ton in week 1. They should have won that Seahawks game, and then they got blown out by the Jets, which they showed that game. But the proven coach in Mike Vrabel versus the unproven coach in Ben Johnson, I just want to say through 3 weeks, advantage Ben Johnson. I mean, if you want to say quarterback, Caleb Williams had a really good week last week, threw 4 touchdowns, and has probably more premier talent at receiver. But yet, Drake May is considered the better quarterback, right? But they have 60 points. The Bears have 76. The Bears have played against 2 teams that were in the play. Was the Cowboys in the playoffs last year? No, they just missed, right? 2 playoff teams in the Cowboys. 36 and 15 record. The Patriots scheduled 22 and 19. I think you could say right now, Ben Johnson through 3 games, I believe same record as the Patriots, but their offense is better with their quarterback. But I'd still make the case Drake May's been better than Caleb Williams, but the facts and the stats don't lie. Bears, more points than Patriots. Just the stats, just the facts. Again, who would you rather have as the coach? Everybody wanted Mike Vrabel. I wanted the offensive-minded coach. Give me the offensive-minded coach every single time. And as we mentioned, Mike Vrabel has been chirping about the offense. While his defense gives up how many points per game? And how many yards through the air? And how undisciplined are they? At some point, I want to do this exercise. I wish we had an intern here tonight. But I would like to do the exercise of defensive coaches and how they're doing this year. Head coaches versus the offensive-minded coaches. I am kind of curious about that record. For example, I look at Atlanta, who got shut out last week by the Panthers. Was Raheem Morris really the better option than Bill Belichick? Like, when we look at it, maybe in hindsight, like maybe guess. But there's a lot of talent on that Falcons team, and they're not getting enough out of it. And they took who? The offensive coordinator was who the Patriots interviewed at the time?
Was it Zach Robinson?
Zach Robinson? They're not, they won against the Vikings. Great win. They followed it up with 0 points and getting shut out by the Panthers, a horrible team.
Seahawks head coach, defensive head coach. We'll see how he looks tonight.
And you know that, by the way, you know that they've given up 17 points or less this year? That's why I'm going over 20 today. I think I think both teams score 20. But you're right. The Seahawks with Sam Darnold, defensive-minded coach, right? Gets one of the top free agent quarterbacks, moves on from Geno. They at least look good. Like Jackson Smith and Jigba's a nice player for them. They have options there. Like Kenneth Walker and Charbonneau, whatever, they have some pretty good offensive options. But listen, I'm giving you 3 game samples here. So far, through 3 games, advantage Ben Johnson over Mike Vrabel. We're going to talk to Alex Barth. You guys know Alex Barth. He's going to join us in a couple of minutes here. We'll get his thoughts on everything happening with the Patriots. But, I don't need to tell anybody that the Patriots' biggest problem this year has been turnovers and penalties. I thought that's what Mike Vrabel was coming to New England to help change, and he hasn't. Any thoughts on that, Skez?
Who do you think is more responsible for the Patriots, for how they've looked the first 3 games? Mike Vrabel or Josh McDaniels?
I like the way you phrased it last night. You asked me, who's been better?
Who's been better through 3 games this season? Mike Vrabel or Josh McDaniels?
Josh McDaniels.
That's not a good thing.
It pained me to say that.
I could see it in your face. You didn't want to say it. But you're an honest man. We operate in facts.
I operate in fact. Josh McDaniels has been better than Mike Vrabel. Josh McDaniels has also been accountable.
He hasn't thrown anybody under the bus, has he?
He has not. And when they asked him, do you think there's too much on Drake May's plate? He almost said there's really not a lot on his plate.
Well, just ask Dave Canales. He'll tell you. They don't do much.
So in a way, yeah. Can you believe Josh McDaniel? Wow, I'm crapping all over. Does this sound like I'm crapping all over Vrabel tonight?
You're just being realistic at this point.
I've given you Ben Johnson and Josh McDaniels been better than Mike Vrabel for 3 weeks.
They don't tackle, and they let up yards and points. I would say that's bad.
But he'll keep getting on the offense, though.
A lot of penalties, too. I would say that's, usually not a well-coached football team.
How many times has Clevion Chason gone offsides in 3 games?
Only a handful, Joe. Only a couple. Yeah.
I got to ask Alex Barth this one now. I got to ask him about Drake May versus Bryce Young, too. And Mike Vrabel versus Ben Johnson. And is Christian Gonzalez going to play this week? And do we see more of Stephon Diggs? What happens to Pop Douglas and Ramondre Davidson? We'll do all that coming up here on the other side. Who's been better, Mike Vrabel or Josh McDaniels? Skaz with the hard-hitting questions, everybody. Unfortunately, it hurts me to say Josh McDaniels. We'll ask Alex Barth of 985thesportshub.com coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
And he joins us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub tonight. His name's Alex Barth from 98.5thesportshub.com. Alex, how you doing tonight, bud?
What's going on, Joe? How we doing?
Well, we've been throwing out a lot of questions tonight. How about this? Give me the lowdown, in your opinion, on the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, and when it comes to their roster versus the Patriots roster.
Yeah, I think they're in similar places. I think both teams are kind of coming out of resets and are still in rebuilds, but you're kind of over that hump now where instead of just tearing the whole thing down, it's okay. The roster's not where we want to be yet, but we have some guys that maybe will be complementary pieces, will be piece of what we're going to have moving forward. Who sticks around and who do we need to upgrade on? I think the Patriots roster probably is a little bit of an edge. I think they had a better free agency this year that's a part of it. But I would say they're in relatively similar places.
Bryce Young, a quarterback that went number 1 overall. We've watched him play in college. He's had some struggles in the NFL, but got benched a year ago for Andy Dalton. Came back and finished the season pretty well. He's shown some pretty good signs. He's getting better. Tell us about his game, and would you rather Drake May today or Bryce Young today?
I mean, Drake May, no question. My thing on Bryce Young has always been, and this is more of a big picture philosophy thing. And Joe, you know this watching a lot of college football. There are some very talented quarterbacks in terms of the way they see the field, their athleticism, their arm. But at the college level, that they are plus players, but you kind of need a certain stature to play quarterback in the NFL, to put it bluntly. And a couple years ago, the NFL kind of wanted to see if they could buck that trend, whether it was Baker Mayfield, whether it was Bryce Young, whether it was Kyler Murray. You saw this run of teams drafting high, talented, but undersized quarterbacks to see if they could work in the NFL. And obviously that's come with mixed results. Baker is probably the top result of that group, but he's somebody who needed to go to multiple teams in order to really find his stride. So I was never bought into that trend. I don't know. Call me a sizeist. I think you need to be, I don't think every quarterback needs to be 6'5", like they were, 10, 15 years ago. But I think playing quarterback, and it's not just about the height, it's about the build too. Like you see this with Kyler, you absorb so many hits at that position, blindside hits where you can't really protect yourself, that you need to have a certain bulk for the durability with it. So I think Bryce Young's tremendously talented. I think he has enough talent to stick around this league, but I think his size does put a limit on maybe what he can ultimately accomplish, especially with a less than roster. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. He had a great second half of last year. It felt like he was really starting to catch on, and it's been mixed results to start this year. So I think he's better than some people give him credit for, but he's not somebody I look at who's going to be in the conversation for one of the elite quarterbacks in the league anytime soon.
Well, speaking of size, they drafted Ted McMillan this year.
Yeah, so he has size.
He's got size. Was mispracticed yesterday on the injury report today. Xavier Legette was a good player. He's going to miss the game. So if Tet's limited, I mean, who else are they going to? Chuba Hubbard and Hunter Renfrow?
Well, Chuba Hubbard got out of the injury report today, too. I believe he was limited, but he was on there. So, yeah, Tet, Chuba Hubbard, they've got some other depth receivers. Jimmy Horn Jr. is there, a guy some people might remember if they watch Colorado. Mm-hmm. All the more important, Christian Gonzalez's potential return looming. If he can take away Ted McMillan, they're really not going to have a lot of options. Jatavion Sanders, their tight end, is banged up too. He's been limited, but he's hurt. So if Christian Gonzalez can take McMillan away, yeah, there really are not a lot of options for Bryce Young there.
So last week, Alex, I said that Cam Hayward would be the difference maker in the game. He was.
Good pick.
I'll do it again this week. I think Derek Brown will be the guy that, the Patriots are going to have to game plan for that one. But now without potentially Jared Wilson, Ben Brown could be at left guard for the Patriots this week. I'm going to take Derek Brown in that matchup.
I am too. Yeah, Derek Brown's their best player, I would say. And I actually talked to Ben Brown about this today. They faced off in college a few times. So he does have some experience against him. It was a long time ago. Brown's both of them have developed more since then and gotten in the NFL and honed their skills. But yeah, if I'm the Panthers, I said this on the Patriots Hub podcast with Matt Dolph, which you can check out on the Sports Hub YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. If I'm the Panthers, part of what makes Derek Brown so dangerous is he can move around and play different spots on the line. I'm lining him up, rookie left tackle, backup left guard. I think Ben Brown's a good backup, but he's a backup. It's going to be his first game of the year. Where's his chemistry at with Will Campbell and with Garrett Bradbury? I'm lining Derek Brown up on that side, and I'm hunting that matchup if I'm the Carolina Panthers. And obviously the Patriots struggled in that regard last week. It was more than just the tip pass. There was
the fumble on the goal line.
The fumble, and he was just Hayward was really good against the run. So they're going to have to be better with that this week. It's a good pick by you. He's somebody that if anybody's going to wreck this game for the Patriots on either side of the ball, I would say it's probably Derek Brown.
Talking about Alex Barth here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Check out his work, 98.5thesportshub.com. I wanted to get a good little Panthers angle because I do think the Patriots have an advantage this week. The line opened at 4. I think it's like 5.5 right now, which is huge for a team that has struggled at home. That was off a loss against a team that just shut out the Atlanta Falcons. So, I mean, I look at it and say this should be a favorable matchup for the Patriots. Just one other thing I wanted to mention, because I guess it's talk show stuff, but
yeah,
do you feel as though Mike Vrabel has been harder on the offense than his defense? And I guess I'll just say it. Has he been calling out the offensive coordinator on some of the plays and issues that they've had this year?
So there's a lot to unpack there. Let's go back to where you called it his defense. He spent the vast majority of training camp with the offense. And this was after he worked as an offensive coach last year in Cleveland, and he talked about how important that was for him to understand what's going on that side of the ball. I don't know that he views it as his defense versus McDaniel's offense. I don't think he sees it that way. He's taken, it seems, like some ownership of the offense. Maybe that's why he's been harder on them. I think it's fair to say he's been harder on them. It's also just 2025 in the fantasy football and betting culture. There's so much more focus paid to offense than defense. It's just the reality of it. You're going to get a lot more questions about your running backs and wide receivers than you are your linebackers and safeties. But I don't think it's Mike Vrabel. Like, it's obviously his defense, and he's the head coach. He's a defensive coach. Like, I don't want to say he doesn't have influence. He spent a ton of time with the offense and a ton of time interacting with Drake May this summer that I don't think it would be weird to me if he sees the offense as the other side of the ball.
Yeah, at some point I want Vrabel to take some accountability, like, hey man, you promised a lot of things, being disciplined, and you're not that. And the guy that I wanted was Ben Johnson or some sort of offensive mind, and I've looked it up, man, and quite frankly, Ben Johnson, his offense has scored over 76 points this year. Patriots have scored 60. Same amount of penalties, but turnovers, 3 for the Bears, 6 for the Patriots. I'm doing this every week because, I thought Mike Vrabel was going to be the difference maker, but although it looks better, and it probably is better, statistically, it's not better than the Patriots last year through 3 games.
So a couple things to that. The main reasons I heard people wanted Ben Johnson, there were a couple things. They liked his offensive system, and they liked the fact that he was analytics heavy. Mike Vrabel, and I'm not a big analytics guy, but the people who are telling me, so I'm just passing this information along. Chad Graff had a tweet on this today. Mike Vrabel's following the math. And some of this is probably credit to Stretch and some of the other analytics guys they've brought in, but they're analytically driven right now. You can't, the numbers bear that out. So that's that was one of the big things I heard about Ben Johnson that Mike Vrabel's, doing. The other was some of that West Coasty offense stuff. They're running a ton of outside zone. They're doing a lot of it. They didn't do it in week 1, but they've done a good amount of it since. Andrew Callahan's been big on this, talking about how they're running some Shanahan stuff. So, and people not wanting just the McDaniels offense over again, which there's still some of the McDaniels core concepts, but this is not what he did with Brady. And it's not exactly what he did with Cam Newton. And it's not exactly what he did with Mac Jones. It's a new thing that is tailored to Drake May, and people were worried McDaniels was going to try to put May square peg in a round hole. So all the defenses I heard for the hire of Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel's doing. So in terms of what else would Ben Johnson have done that he hasn't, I don't know. How many games did the Bears win last year? How many games did the Patriots win last year? Is Ben Johnson simply starting from a higher floor? Mike Vrabel overhauled a lot of it. Sure. I think people are maybe getting a little quick jumping the gun with that comparison. And ultimately, Joe, I would say what it comes down to is the record. And Ben Johnson is 1-2 and Mike Vrabel's 1-2 and Ben Johnson could be 2-1. And the thing I was scared about with Ben Johnson that a lot of these offensive gurus have trouble with is managing the clock, and he choked that game away against Minnesota in the opener. So, I mean, if you want to pull, the point six different in 16 points, yeah, they're scoring a little bit more. The penalties are the same. The record's the same. The things you were concerned about with Vrabel coming in haven't necessarily showed up. The things you were concerned about with Johnson as a coaching candidate have showed up.
All right. I like that. Skaz asked this one. And, well, you know me. I'm not really I haven't been easy on offensive coordinators. I'm not gonna call myself a hater, but I definitely am not. I don't favor the offensive coordinator. But Skaz asked the question, and he got a yes out of me. I'll ask you the question: has Josh McDaniels been better than Mike Vrabel so far?
That's an interesting question, because again, it goes back to, if we're going to look at it as offensive coach, defensive coach. The offense has been better than the defense. The offense has had, for the most part, 2+ games. I would say 5 of 6 halves, the offense has been good. It's really that second half in the opener that they struggled. The defense had 2 down games, and then I thought came back last week against Pittsburgh. They ultimately lost, but you can't put as much of that on the defense. But I don't know that Vrabel, it seems like, is doing the real CEO thing and maybe deserves some credit for the offense, given some of the ways they've innovated and given how involved he's been in that side. Now it's still Josh's offense and he's still calling the shots. So in that sense, it might be yes, but the offense has been ahead of the defense. I don't know that that's a Vrabel versus McDaniels conversation. It's probably more McDaniels versus Terrell Williams / Zach Core. I think Vrabel really has his hands in everything.
All right, 2-part question. What did the Patriots do with Ramondre Stevenson this week? And Pop Douglas. A lot of people at camp said that he was the top receiver. How come he's having such an issue getting involved? And I guess 3-part question. When do they open it up to get Steph Diggs more involved?
So the first part with Ramondre Stevenson, I don't think he's going to be outright benched. They simply don't have the personnel to do it. You need 3 backs, and I'm not sure where they're at Terrell Jennings at this point on the practice squad. He's also still one of their most explosive offensive players, and he's far and away their best pass blocking running back. So I think you see what we saw last week after the second fumble, which was he was still on the field, but he was really only pass blocking when ball security is not going to be an issue. And then they split. I think it's an even split, Gibson and Henderson, in terms of touches. Henderson, he's just still kind of in that filling out process. His vision, his patience, whatever it is, he's not running to open space right now. And he's got to get to that point before you can really start to put more on him. The second part, I apologize, my internet cut out. I can give you the third one with Diggs. I think the key to unlocking Diggs might actually be Kyle Williams. Move Diggs into the slot for Pop Douglas, put Kyle Williams at the Z. I think that unlocks 2 guys, and I'd like to see them try that this week.
Pop Douglas, man. He was hyped, huh? I don't know. At some point, I know he's a good player. I know, but I feel though with the 12 personnel, that's their best, and I don't know, man. Not fighting for that first down, that's not going to go a long way with Mike Vrabel.
I mean, I think that's part of it. Bigger picture, I don't think you ever want to make a sweeping personnel change off one single play, regardless of how impactful it is. But him and Drake May just don't look like they're on the same page right now. Beyond that one play, just big picture.
Can I give you another one? Can I give you another one?
Yeah.
Remember last year against St. Louis on a big third down, Pop ran the wrong route and May threw an interception to end the game.
That's right. So I just don't think they're on the same page right now. A few games in, it doesn't look like it's getting much better. The timing is and the chemistry is so important in this offense. Now, where's May's chemistry with Kyle Williams? He hasn't played with him a ton. I don't know, but you get him on the field, you get him more involved, you see if you can build that up. Like Pop has had his chances. I'm not saying it's going to work necessarily. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to work if you put Kyle Williams on the field, but I think you need to see what that looks like. And so I'm not benching Pop Douglas entirely. I think he brings a dynamic after the catch that this offense needs. And maybe you use him more as a gadget player than as a true third receiver, and you design some stuff for him, almost how they used Marcus Jones a few years ago. But I'd like to see more Kyle Williams this week.
All right, man. Anything else going on that we should be talking about?
the special teams are going to loom large. So the Panthers' offense and defense has been underwhelming this year. Their special teams is excellent. And Jeremy Springer talked a lot about this today, the dirty kick. Where
I heard about this. Yeah.
You heard about this?
The dirty kicks.
You're kicking off and you're knuckleballing it because the distance no longer, and the hang time no longer matters. The distance matters that you have to get in the landing zone, but you're not trying to bang it out of the back of the end zone. And you don't need to buy time for the return team to get down the field. So you don't have to worry about the hang time. So, and every team does it a little bit. The Patriots, Springer said the Patriots have done it, but the Panthers excel at this. They're the lead example of this year because this comes out of the new kickoff rule. This wasn't really a thing before. It's really hard for the returners to read and catch. So you have guys, letting the ball hit the ground and that buys time, or muffing kicks, or there's just miscommunication and they're starting slower and it buys you a quarter, a second, a half a second or more. And that can be impactful. So the Panthers off kickoffs have allowed the worst opponent starting field position in the league, the most favorable to the defense. Well, I think it's the 21-yard line. It's something way back. So the Patriots return unit has been good, but this is going to be a big challenge for them. Field position in this game could matter. And then, the dirty kick doesn't apply, but they've just been good to everything, but they've been good in all phases of special teams. So this is a Patriots team that has to win on the margins. We know that special teams is the margins. So keep an eye on that, especially when the Panthers are kicking off the ball. But I'll give Brian Hines of CLNS credit. He pointed this out today. The best way to avoid screwing up on the dirty kick, don't let the Panthers score. They won't be kicking off.
Oh, okay. That's a good solution. You don't want them to kick, don't let them score. I like that
simple.
One. Real quick, I'm throwing one at you, but what do you think about this weekend, Penn State, Oregon? Any thought?
It's a huge test for James Franklin because for years the book on him was he beat everybody but Michigan and Ohio State. And people made it about him not being able to beat those two teams. The reality, he just can't beat, he can't win top 10 games. He hasn't been able to do it in a long time. And at Penn State, the expectation should be higher than being an also-ran for the college football playoff. So it's Oregon. It's a little bit of a different team, but I don't know about you, Joe. I think Dan Lanning's the best coach in the country. He might be the best coach in the game right now at any level. I'm a huge fan of him and what he's done with that program. If any team's going to be ready to go into Happy Valley, whiteout, night game, ranked matchup, it's going to be the Oregon Ducks. They're not quite as talented as they were last year, but they have a ton of talent. Penn State's at home. I think it's a massive, massive litmus test for James Franklin in this Penn State program.
Big game for Drew Aller. Dante Moore, first game. Is this his first true road? Yeah, probably his first true road game, right? So
sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Aller. I'm not a big believer in Drew Aller. I haven't been. I don't know. There's just something about his game. I as an NFL prospect that I don't love. I saw Adam Schefter tweet out the other day he could be the first Penn State first round quarterback since 1993. I need to see more. I need to see more before we start putting him in the first round conversation.
Who was it? Kerry Collins? The last former Panther, right?
So. That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Wow. Well, Chad Ryland's setting up for a field goal here after a delay of game. So
how are those jerseys looking? I haven't gotten to turn the game on yet. I was right before I was talking. How are this is the first rivalry jerseys.
Yeah, so Seattle had an interception, and then on the interception return, his own player bumped into him and he fumbled to give the ball back to the Cardinals, who are now going to kick a field goal.
That's not true.
The helmets are white. They look good. The helmets look good. The jerseys, meh. The Seahawks look regular jerseys, though.
That's kind of how I feel the Patriots ones are going to go. Helmets, good. Jerseys, fine.
All right. Well, he's Alex Barth. Everybody check out his work, 985thesportshub.com. Alex, appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
Anytime, Joe.
You got it. He's Alex Barth. Dropping the facts on yo. I almost said dropping facts on your ass. I did. I said it anyways. All right. Well, Chad Ryland's putting up points. We'll tell you the score now in headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Remember that guy, Chad Ryland? I do. 3-0 right now is the score. Cardinals with the lead. I'll make this quick. Brian Bayo, in potentially his last outing of the year, threw 89 pitches, 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, gave up 3 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He leaves the game. Justin Wilson comes in. And, well, things didn't go well for Mr. Wilson as Dalton Varsho just hit a grand slam for Toronto to go up 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. So, unless something miraculous happens, which could, and the Red Sox come back to win this game, they'll be able to clinch it tomorrow night. But Skaz, where, how? Don't tell. Maybe we should tell Felger. How do we watch tomorrow night's game?
I believe what would be the magic number game tomorrow night will be on Apple TV Plus, where everybody's favorite Red Sox games are. So, yeah, everyone should be thrilled about that. That's what you want. You want your local team fighting for a playoff spot and you fiddling around trying to find it on your TV. That's what we all hope for.
That's baseball.
That's baseball.
I mean, I'll get it on in studio. I don't know what. I mean, you'll probably put it on an account.
Yeah, a little Vox Pro. Yeah.
But still, like, come on. You can't even go to the bar and watch the game.
You got to make sure the bar's got Apple TV.
How though?
Hey, give them a call, I guess. I don't know.
So unless something crazy happens tonight, it's 4-0 Blue Jays. The Blue Jays also, in a must-win, are throwing a perfect game. So let's see if the Red Sox have any fight. But yes, if they don't win tonight and they go for it again tomorrow, it's going to be on Apple TV. We got In or Out. I'm out on that one, by the way. Out. We'll leave that one off right there. In or Out's coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Joe Murray pre-party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
It's the least. All right, Joe. The Social Network 2. We've done some in-or-outs on this one already. I think we were all out on Jesse Eisenberg not being a part of it. But now rumors are that Bill Burr is in talks to star in The Social Network 2. His character will be completely fictional and made up specifically for the film.
Awesome.
Joe Murray, are we in or out on Bill Burr starring in The Social Network 2?
In. How do I get Bill Burr in studio? I know he's doing like Joe Rogan. I forget what he was on. Dude, I love Bill Burr. Told you about the time. I've admitted this now, but he did this Boston joke. And let's just say at 7:05 in the morning one day on the radio, I made the same mistake and had to get it dumped. I don't know if I ever told you the stories, guys.
It's sounding familiar.
The Boston story is whenever you talk to someone from Boston, they always go, yeah, Billy was there, and Jimmy was there, and bleeping, Tommy. Well, here I am on a morning show, over under 985, and I'm like, yeah, there's... So in on Bill Burr, and I would love... you know what, actually, I've been in studio with Bill before when I did mornings. A lot of guys. Shane Gillis, Bob Saget. Remember him? He was here.
I do remember
Sarge
him,
was
yes.
here for that
R.I.P.
Man. But in on that.
All right, Joe, we'll head to NBA for this next one. The 76ers' Kyle Lowry is joining NBA on Prime's coverage team this season as an active player. Kyle Lowry will make select appearances in studio coverage during his 20th season in the league. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Kyle Lowry being a player and an analyst?
But here's what I like. I think Kyle Lowry has the credentials for it. Like
a little cash.
Won a championship. What was the word I said? He's got... remember when I was talking about a while back, some guys have use? Yeah, like Draymond does it right. Why not Kyle Lowry? Fine, in. Plus, the Draymond I want to hear, he can't even do it.
All right, Joe, we'll head to the world of college football for this next one. Kirk Herbstreit says college football needs a commissioner to fix the scheduling chaos. Joe Murray, are you in or out on college football needing a commissioner?
In. Who would it be?
Urban. What's Jimbo up to?
No.
Saban?
Sometimes things just pop into my brain and I don't know where it comes from. Saban would be interesting. But
the SEC bias, though, Joe.
But, thought of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I thought of Tim Tebow. I just feel like Tim Tebow's fair and honest. Don't you think?
I'd be in on Tebow. Absolutely. I don't even know if you could debate it.
I'd throw Doug Flutie in that conversation if you'd like as well.
I don't think I would.
But Tim Tebow would be my my answer on that. In or out on that one? I'm in.
I'm in on Tim Tebow as the commissioner of college football.
I just think he'd be fair. He would really look at everything.
What about Feinbaum? You want him doing it?
Oh, that'd be great. He'd rip everybody. Is there somebody that maybe isn't college football related? Like Louis Riddick? Just seems like smart, intelligent guy.
He's been rumored to be a GM numerous times.
I'm just thinking that. Trying to think of guys that are influential to the game of college football. Like Andrew Luck's in my head because he's a general manager of Stanford.
It's not bad. He's working right now.
But,
for
I don't think he's going to leave Stanford. But
I get it. It's a good one. All right, Joe, this is something I put in Slack moments before the show, so I'm not sure if you've had a time to look at it yet. It's from our friends over at NASA, who we're very familiar with on the night show. NASA scientists are considering firing nukes at an asteroid that could collide with the moon in 2032. The nuclear option involves detonating up to 2 100-kiloton nuclear devices, each several times stronger than bombs that have been dropped around the world previously. Joe Murray, are you in or out on NASA potentially nuking an asteroid that could collide with the moon?
Out. No. This is no. 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 No.
You don't want to nuke anything in outer space, Joe?
Dude. The stuff in space operates everything down here. I don't want to do anything up there that can affect down here. So no. Out. No. No.
You don't want to save the moon?
Does all the moon dancing and the ocean and motions.
Yeah, you got to protect the moon, Joe. Controls the tides.
No. No. If something happened to the moon, dude, we're done.
That's what I'm saying. This is going to protect the moon.
Yeah. Again for the Patriots. Headlines, they are brought to you by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning day or night, always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm Joe Murray.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
I guess, Bill, where do you...
Hey.
Hi. How do you see yourself as an owner? Are you sitting on the courtside and yelling at the officials, or are you in
Wickes told me not to do that.
He's letting me handle the officials part.
But how visible do you picture yourself, and in what ways do you plan to use that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan, first of all, so I'm so excited to be there and to have the best seat in the house, frankly. So that's fantastic. So I will absolutely be there. I will do whatever it takes, whatever the Boston Celtics need me to do. If they need me to be doing press conferences every day, I'll do them. If they need me to stay out of the way, I'll do that. I feel like I have enough self-awareness to know where I can be helpful and know where to get out of the way. And the biggest thing I think I can bring is support to the folks on the stage here.
I'm still thinking about who thought of this. So you mean to tell me that forecasters have seen a meteor that could hit the moon?
Correct.
And so now there's discussions about going up there and nuking this thing to protect the moon.
I believe that is correct.
Has there ever been any other missions to protect the moon? Like, has there ever been usually everybody's trying to go to the moon and, get up there. And there are people who think that the moon is all BS anyways. I don't know what to believe anymore. And by the way, I have no opinion, so don't ask me. The way I'll take it is that, Neil Armstrong and the other guy, what was his name? Doesn't matter. They went to Buzz Aldrin. Buzz was on Dancing with the Stars, remember? Anyways, those two guys, they went on the moon, and I believe it only because I was told it. Doesn't mean I know if it happened or not. I just believe it because it's what I was told.
In 2020, September 26th, funnily enough, 2022, NASA successfully crashed a spacecraft into an asteroid as part of the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, also known as DART. The DART spacecraft collided with the small asteroid to test the effectiveness of the kinetic impact, and it proved successfully altering the orbit of the asteroid and setting it around its larger companion.
So they sacrificed a rocket ship.
Sure, yes.
So why can't they just do that again?
I think this one is much bigger.
Oh,
you got to send the nukes
what
after it.
What if the rocket ship was a nuke?
What if they whiff? That's my question.
Well, I know. Where would it go?
Talk about the pressure.
Would it drop back down?
The pressure on that shot.
Sorry, Mars. Actually, don't. Actually, what is the order? Do you remember how it went? The order? No, we don't not do. No, we're not doing that.
There is an acronym for it there. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
No, mozzarella moons.
I believe I've heard Milliken talk about this before.
Yeah, they're just like a nice little moon of cheese. It's got a good cheese pull too. Yeah, you need a good cheese pull nowadays. I love I'm going to Diorcy's tomorrow. I hope they're listening.
You're sending out the signal?
Sending out the signal. I'm going to they make an Italian poo-poo platter.
Excuse me.
It's eggplant, chicken parm, meatballs, raviolis. And there's something else I'm missing. Side a little pasta ziti, something like that.
I just got a text, nuke the asteroid, and then what a pivot by Joe, asteroid to pastries.
Again, half moons.
Hey,
that's all I can think of.
You really brought it around.
Mozzarella moons. We're talking about the moon. Let's talk about the ones we actually want, not the ones we need.
Best moon pie, maybe?
Love a moon pie. Oh, John Sarianides is coming up. We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Going to need some more points in this football game. Well, let's welcome in John Sarianides. He's of New England Football Journal. John, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, Joe?
All right, well, we'll do football, but I think you'll appreciate this one. But Skaz mentioned a story that NASA is worried about a crater that could crash into the moon. Well, not a meteor. And it's in 2025 or no, 2035 or whatever. And they want to send like a nuclear bomb up there to protect the moon. I'm out on that. I don't think we should be messing with anything near the moon. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm out on it, especially if it's 10 years away. Why are we worrying about it right now? I mean, if they're projecting this thing to hit the moon in 10 years from now, let's deal with it 5-6 years down the road. We don't need to worry about it right now. So I'm with you, Joe. I am out on nuking the asteroid.
I just don't. We've messed with so much down here. Right? Why do we even want to do anything? I know I'm going all, Felger on you right now with conspiracy, but...
Well, let me add something to this, though, Joe.
Okay.
The other thing is, doesn't the moon have a bunch of craters anyway?
Yeah.
What's another crater?
Yeah, why are they up there? They're probably getting pegged every night.
Right. So it's not like it's going to affect... living beings on the moon. No one lives on the moon. There's nothing there. So what? It's just another crater. Big deal. Like I said, I'm out on bombing the asteroid.
Yeah, well, what we're doing there. I was trying to tell Skaz, too, all this moon talk reminded me of half moons at the bakery. Remember John's Bakery in Rossi growing up?
Oh, yeah. My brother worked there.
Oh, hey, good pizza.
Good pizza, great bread. John Puma. He was a legend. He was the owner of John's Bakery.
I used to wait for the 34 bus right in Rossi Square, and it would take me to Pleasant Cafe, and I'd walk up Beach Street.
Love it. Love it, man. That's the old neighborhood right there.
It is.
Go get yourself that bar pizza or the prime rib. You can't beat a meal at Pleasant Cafe.
Yep. Delfino's is still going strong over there, too.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a lot. It's
Yep.
different.
Another great spot.
The only other moons I like are the mozzarella moons that are at the 99 restaurant, which are fantastic. All right,
What
John.
about Keith Moon? Are you a Keith Moon guy?
Yeah, he was wild. Remember Warren Moon?
Warren Moon. Yes. Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon played in the run and shoot under Kevin Gilbride, among others.
Wasn't there the basketball movie with Will
Jackie
Ferrell?
Moon?
Jackie
Yes.
Moon too.
Yes. The Tropics. What was the name of that
Flint,
movie?
the Flint Tropics. What was that?
They were the Flint Tropics, and it was Jackie Moon. I remember everything about the movie except the name of the movie.
Woody Harrelson was in it, right?
Yeah. He was also in White Man Can't Jump,
which was a great movie.
Great movie.
Rosie
Wesley
Perez. Rosie was great in that movie.
Yeah, Rosie Perez. Now we're really going down memory lane, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of memory lane, who's the greatest Carolina Panther of all time?
Ooh, good question. I'm going to go with Julius Peppers, recent Hall of Famer. I think he's the greatest Carolina Panther of all time.
Kevin Green didn't have a long enough career.
He didn't play there long enough.
Jake Delhomme.
Cam's in the conversation.
Yeah, Cam Newton was better than Jake Delhomme.
Yep. Steve Smith Sr.
Ooh, he's very good.
Yep. He's in the convo.
Oh. All right. Well, the Panthers, Drake May, Bryce Young. Tell me what you think about Bryce Young.
I think Bryce Young is vertically challenged. I think he's skilled. I think he has plus arm talent, good pocket instincts, but the lack of height is a problem. I don't ever see him developing into a top 15, top 20 quarterback in this league. I think at best he's serviceable. And I think as long as he's the starting quarterback in Carolina, and these could end up being famous last words if he plays well on Sunday, but as long as he's the quarterback in Carolina, I don't see this Panthers franchise getting out of this phase of their rebuild and taking another step. I don't think he's going to develop into a franchise quarterback. I think, again, you're talking about a middle-of-the-pack guy, and a big reason for that, Joe, again, is the height. He's 5'11". If he's 6'2", we're having a completely different conversation because the skill set and the athleticism are there. Unfortunately, I think the height is going to be a problem in his career. And unlike Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, guys that kind of overcame that, I'm not sure he's good enough to overcome it. Patriots should get to him on a consistent basis on Sunday, and I don't see him playing well. But again, crazier things have happened. But yeah, not a big Bryce Young guy.
How did they shut out the Falcons last week 30-0?
Well, because the Falcons are football schizophrenics. That's how they shut them out. The Falcons are the most inconsistent team in the league on paper, as probably a top 5 roster in the league on paper. I don't know if I'd say I wouldn't say Michael Penix is top 5, but the rest of that roster, you can make an argument in a lot of positions is top 5, top 10, but they're just so wildly inconsistent. And look, I know it's early, and you can make the same argument with J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, but it does not appear to me like the Atlanta Falcons have a franchise quarterback in Michael Penix. It's going to be interesting to see how long they wait until they eventually go back to Kirk Cousins, but he looked awful last week. He was a big reason why they lost last week, 30-0 to Carolina. By the way, I don't think Carolina's as good as that score indicates either, and I think the underlying numbers prove that.
Okay, we're talking with John Serenides. He's of New England Football Journal. It was Semi-Pro was the name of the movie.
Semi-Pro, yes.
It was all right.
That was, and I will say real quick, not to get too far away from the football conversation here, but that was the tail end of his movie run there. That it wasn't that good. He had a series of really good movies that were funny. That's when you kind of knew, all right, he was overexposed. He was doing too much. It's time for Will Ferrell to give it a rest.
Did that come out the same time as Dodgeball?
No, that came out later. It came out after Dodgeball.
Because Will Ferrell started doing like those Kevin Hart movies and you know. I mean,
that genre, early 2000s, was fantastic. But by the time he got to Semi-Pro again, he had just been so overexposed and had been in so many movies. Kind of like what's happened with The Rock in recent years. You can only be in so many movies before people are like, oh, yay, another Rock movie. Whoopie-doo, I'm out on that.
Just so I can get the answer, Adam Sandler or Will Ferrell?
Ooh, good one. See, I'm a huge SNL guy. A different style. I think when you talk about those movies, I lean Sandler, but I think on SNL, I think that Will Ferrell pushed more boundaries. So movie Sandler, SNL, I go Ferrell.
This would be a good little classroom discussion, don't you think?
Yes, it would.
You think the kids would know? Would they know both?
I don't think they'd know either. This generation has no idea who either guy is. I don't even know if they know. I don't even know if they know who they are or know their own names. Yeah. Never mind Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler.
On tomorrow's class, we're going to learn about Adam Sandler.
Right. we're going to learn about the last stages of funny comedy before it went to hell.
All right, Skaz asked a question. You know me, I'm an offensive coordinator hater. I'm just going to say it. He asked me, though, hey, Joe, who's been better, Josh McDaniels or Mike Vrabel? And I have to bend the knee. Josh McDaniels has been better than Mike Vrabel. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if either one of them has been great so far, but again, it's 3 weeks in. And yes, you want to see the Patriots play cleaner, take care of the football, eliminate the penalties, be a more fundamentally sound football team. But yeah, I would tend to agree with you. I'd say McDaniels has done a better job so far, but I also think it's way too early right now to be judging Mike Vrabel. Too many people are already getting off the bandwagon. Let's relax. It's 3 weeks in. Look, if you had told us in March, let's say they win on Sunday. If you had told us in March that at the end of September this football team would be 2-2, I think most Patriot fans would take it. Sure, on paper, you'd say to yourself they probably should be 3-1, and they very easily could be. But if you told people that they'd be 2-2, I think people would take that as well.
What does Coach S do about Ramondre Stevenson and Pop Douglas?
Well, here's the thing. Look, you need these guys. And I've heard a lot of opinions, cut Stevenson, bench Douglas. I'm not cutting Ramondre Stevenson. That's idiotic. Anybody who thinks that is a fool. I'm not cutting Ramondre Stevenson. Now, do I not start him this week? Yes, I don't start him. I start Antonio Gibson. But I also keep him active, and I potentially use him if I need him. But I'm not cutting him, and I'm not throwing him by the wayside because when he's focused and he's on, he's a top 10 back in this league. As far as Pop Douglas is concerned, yeah, you probably, same thing. You probably lessen his role this week, and you continue to work on him on the fundamental side of things so that he understands that in those situations, you've got to go beyond the marker and you've got to fall forward. But I don't throw either guy away, Joe. This team is not good enough right now to cast guys away. They need both of these guys long-term. I hold on to both of them. I probably limit their snaps or don't play them at all this week. But beyond this week, I work them back into the rotation.
Okay, how do they get Steph Diggs and Pop Douglas into the offense a little bit more? It seems as though they really only are successful when they're in 12 personnel. Is this a week where maybe they can activate an Efton Chisholm and use him out of the slot? How do they go about getting these guys more open or actually on the field?
Well, I think in the case of Diggs, you got to move him around. He's at his best when he's playing in the slot. He's playing the F. He's playing the Z. In some personnel groupings and formations, he's even playing the X. You've got to move him around. I don't think they moved him around enough. I also don't think they've used enough motion with him. So, and, we talked about this after the game on Sunday about the importance of starting to get him involved because the other part of this is the psychological part with him, right? If he's not involved, if he's not engaged, he could potentially start becoming a problem in the locker room. So they've got to do a better job of moving him around and aligning him in different places and trying to get him the ball, make a more concerted effort. And as far as Pop Douglas is concerned, look, Pop is what he is. I know that he was the best of a bad lot the last couple of years, but the reality is I think at best he's a third receiver, more than likely a fourth receiver. I wouldn't force it with him. I wouldn't mind seeing more of Efton Chisholm as we go along here, but I think it is imperative that you get Stephon Diggs involved. And again, I think the way you do that is alignment versatility, where you line him up and how you try to generate matchups with him. And I would use him in the motion game as well to try to free him up. They have got to make that a priority. They're paying him too much money. He still has something left in the tank. Get the man the football. You're going to need him as the season goes on.
He's had 15 targets. He's caught 13 of those 15 targets.
Yeah.
So,
which tells you that he can still play the position at a high level. It's up to McDaniels and this offensive coaching staff to figure out a way to get him open and get him the ball.
All right, John. I got a lot of thoughts on the Christian Gonzalez thing. In a way, I kind of think it's the player who might need to be 100% to be effective or think to be effective. When the original report came out, Jordan Schultz was the one who mentioned will be ready. I'm sure he got that from the agent. I'm now starting to think that the rats around here was about that, not about, Jalen Polk or whatever. And then this week, it sounds like last week, he wanted to play and thought he was going to play, and then the Patriots said no. And this week, all the chatter. So it sounds like there's been a little bit of back and forth about him being on the field. Also sounds like he's going to play this week. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say it's been mishandled. We're not in the building. We don't know where he was in terms of his rehab and his recovery. I thought he was going to play last week, too, based on the fact that he practiced and then he was trending in the right direction. Patriots chose to play it cautiously with him and not play him. I don't blame him. Again, you got to have a long-term view with these things. If you're serious about being in playoff contention come December, and internally I'm sure they think that they can be, then that's when you're going to need him. And yes, this secondary has struggled without him. But I don't ultimately have a problem with them not playing him. And I don't have a problem with Christian Gonzalez pushing himself until he's ready either. Ultimately, you want him to play the rest of the season. And if that's the case, you've got to handle it with kid gloves. You've seen it around the league already. Look at Zach Tom in Green Bay. Packers rush him back. He gets hurt. First snap of the game last week against Cleveland. He's out. He's out this week against Dallas. Hamstrings are tricky, man. You cannot fool around with hamstrings. You've got to take your time with them, and you've got to let the player rehab and get healthy. And if you do it the right way, and you almost exceed the timeline that you had for the player in terms of their return so that you can give them that extra week or two, it's going to benefit the player, and they're going to stay on the field. If they had rushed this thing and he pulls it, now he's looking at another 4 to 6 weeks of being out. So I don't have a problem with how either side played it. It's one of those things where I think a little too much is being made of nothing, at least in my opinion.
All right, man. You excited for this Penn State-Oregon game over the weekend?
Yeah, it should be a good one. Look, we always say this about Penn State, right? They always open up the season with a couple of cream puffs, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, and then they get into that big game, and that's really the litmus test for them. It's going to be Oregon this week. Dante Moore has been the best quarterback in the country so far. Will Stein, one of the best offensive coaches in the country. That Oregon offense plays fast. They can score, and we know a Dan Lanning defense is going to get after it. They're going to get after Drew Allar. But this game is more about Penn State. I think we're going to learn a lot more about them than we will Oregon. We already know what Oregon is. Oregon is a national championship contender. If they win this game, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. They're that good. For Penn State, they need to win this game if they truly want to be a national title contender and if they want to be viewed that way.
I'm just going to go on an upset, and you heard it here first. Everyone loves Indiana. They were great last week. They now go to Iowa. I don't know why. Just feel like I feel an upset Iowa over Indiana. Nobody expects it. Just a thought.
Yeah, and it's possible, man. Iowa plays really good D. My issue with Iowa has always been under Kirk Ferentz, has always been their offense. They're not consistent on offense. They don't score enough points, and that's why ultimately, if you look at Kirk Ferentz's career in Iowa City, they haven't been the Big Ten title contender that they could be on a consistent basis because of their lack of offensive production. They just don't score enough points. That's always my concern with them. I get what you're saying, and I think that they could potentially be a smart underdog play at home. But, man, it's hard to pick against Kirk Cignetti and the Hoosiers right now. That offense is humming. Mendoza is the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. They hung 63 last week on Illinois. It's hard to pick against Indiana right now, man. They're better than they were last year, which is hard to believe because they were really good last year. Of course, they made the college football playoff.
Yeah. Can Alabama beat Georgia?
Yes. Will they? No. But they can. They can. I know these aren't Nick Saban's Crimson Tide, but Kalen DeBoer still has plenty of talent on his sideline. Yes, they can go into Athens and win.
And then BC plays Cal. Cal was supposed to be bad this year. Little did we know, BC was very bad against Stanford.
Yeah, and Cal comes into the game at 3-1. Boston College, of course, coming off a tough loss to Stanford and then a bye week. Bye week is going to do the Eagles a lot of good here. Cal's coming off a really bad loss last week. They got shut out 34-0. I think Boston College bounces back. They're at home. It is a 3:30 start, so they're not necessarily going to have the time advantage per se. I don't think Cal is as good as their record. I think the Eagles bounce back, get to 500, and they build some momentum going into October, where they're going to start to play some of their tougher games. So I like the Eagles this week.
All right, John. Skaz asked a question earlier. What do you got, Skaz?
Yeah, I believe Kirk Herbstreit said this. I don't know exactly where, but earlier this week. He said he believes college football needs a commissioner to help them with scheduling and other things. Do you think college football needs a commissioner?
Yes. I think college football needs to separate from the other sports. I think it needs to be a standalone. Chip Kelly said this a couple of years ago, and I couldn't agree more with Chip. Chip's one of the smartest guys in the game. I couldn't agree with him more. I think that the sport needs a commissioner. I think that they're eventually going to get to a place where they're going to need some type of a mechanism where there's NIL money management. And I think you're going to have to run football like it's run in the NFL, where you're going to have front offices and you're going to have a salary cap, and it's going to be structured the same way. But like Chip said a couple of years ago, and I couldn't agree with him more, I think football needs to separate itself from basketball, hockey, baseball, and the rest of these sports. It needs to be a standalone. It has to be its own thing. It generates the most revenue. I think if you treat it that way and you separate the big boys from everybody else and you try to level the playing field a little bit more, I think it would be better for the sport.
Do you have any name? Mine was Tim Tebow.
I think Tim Tebow could be a potential candidate for sure. I think David Shaw, former Stanford coach, is another name I would look at. Of course, everybody keeps throwing out Nick Saban. I think there are a lot of quality candidates. I'll give you another name that a lot of people aren't probably talking about, but he was a hell of a football coach, and he's a smart football guy, and that's Rick Neuheisel, who's doing TV now. He's another name that I would throw out there. There's plenty of good candidates for a position like that, but I do think college football needs to trend in that direction ultimately.
All right, John, what do we got going on in high school football this week?
Oh, we got a lot of good games in Massachusetts. We got Springfield Central and Zavarian this week. We got a couple good games in the Hockomock League. Natick at Milford, King Philip at Foxborough. Connecticut, you've got some really good games as well. Bunnell at New Canaan, West Haven at Shelton are a couple of the really good matchups there. We've also got a couple really good interstate matchups. We've got LaSalle and St. John's Prep in Providence. We've also got Bishop Hendricken out of Rhode Island. They've been the best program in the Ocean State for years now. They come up to take on Central Catholic on Saturday. And you've also got some big ISL games, some big NEPSAC games with realignment. You got Avon Old Farms coming to Cambridge on Saturday to take on BB&N, which is, if you're looking for a game to go and you live in that area, do yourself a favor. Go to that game. There's going to be a lot of FBS caliber talent on the field in that one. And then Friday night, you got another big one in the ISL, Milton Academy at Tabor Academy, which will be a fantastic matchup. In my opinion, Tabor's the best program in New England. They're loaded with FBS talent. So a lot of great games on the high school docket this weekend.
Wow. That was a lot there, John.
You've also got Londonderry at Pinkerton, one of the best rivalry games in New Hampshire as well.
What about Vermont? You got anything for them, too?
We do. Burton against Essex should be a really good game. Burton, they were down last year. Bulldogs look better this year. Rutland is the favorite in D1, but don't sleep on Burton. It's been a quality program in Vermont for the last few years, and despite a down year last year, looks like they're bouncing back this year.
Well, I know that St. John's Prep rolled Central Catholic last week.
They did. I thought Central would have given them a better game, but they rolled them. LaSalle has the talent to hang in there with him, but, man, Brian St. Pierre's Eagles look like they are, if they're not the front runner in Division I, they're right there with the X in Springfield Central. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out once we get into the playoffs, because any one of those three teams can beat each other. St. John's Prep already beat Springfield Central earlier this season, 36-35. We'll see if Springfield Central can beat Zavarian. Zavarian is still the favorite in D1, but, of course, as the season goes on, injuries happen, things can change.
Well, we're all just awaiting that Zavarian St. John's Prep game on Thanksgiving.
And it's always a good one, and this year should be no different. And for all we know, they could end up seeing each other the following week in the Super Bowl.
Imagine
it happened
that.
a couple of years ago, so.
Yeah. We need does high school have a commissioner?
They do not. They do not have a commissioner. I wish they did. I think it would be great for high school football. Listen, I say it all the time, Joe. Connecticut does it the best. They play their playoff games after Thanksgiving. They play a 10-game regular season. They have what they call the Alliance, where they schedule some really big-time matchups the first 4 weeks of the season. Connecticut does it so well. It's so well run down there. The CIAC is a terrific organization. So is the MIAA, but they could do a better job with football. One thing I will say, though, is they did get the Super Bowl schedule right this year. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, 4 on Saturday. Hallelujah. At least they got that right this year.
Hallelujah. Straight from the moon.
And by the way, Joe, any names for a potential commissioner for Massachusetts high school football, I'll pass it along to the MIAA.
Marty Walsh.
Who was that?
Marty Walsh?
Artie Walsh.
Marty.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Who else? Doug Flutie.
Tim
Hasselbeck.
Tim Hasselbeck, although he's down in Lipscomb Academy in Tennessee. He's not up here.
Okay. Mark Colombo.
Bridgewater Raynham guy.
Todd Collins.
I've known Todd for years. Walpole legend, of course, played at Michigan and played in the NFL for 15 years. Was the offensive coordinator for the Timberwolves, but now he's just helping out and watching his kid play at Salve Regina. So I don't know if he has the time.
How about John Serenides?
Man, that's a strong candidate right there. I have the overall knowledge. But I'll give you another name.
Yeah.
My good friend Danny Ventura.
Ooh, he knows his stuff.
He's in Florida, but I nominate my good buddy Danny V.
Danny V retiring this year from the Boston Herald. Covered me in high school.
He would probably nominate me.
That's true.
I'm nominating him.
How about Kevin Stoney?
Hey, I'm in. I'm in on Stone. Stone grinds when it comes to high school football. Stone grinds.
True.
He knows his high school football.
He knows his stuff.
My good buddy Adam Kirchen would also be a great commissioner.
That's another guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of good candidates.
And just get the guy, Coach Dibbs out of CM, and maybe just make him the guy.
Yeah.
Maybe
when he gets to 20 state titles and over 400 wins, maybe he retires and he becomes the commissioner of high school football in Massachusetts. Bottom line is there's no shortage of candidates.
He's like Coach Kilner, going for that next district title.
Yep.
All right, we got to go. Thanks, John. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, brother. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend.
Yep. All right, Lil John. Yeah. Wait. Lil John, yeah? Yeah. He's on halftime right now. We'll get you headlines on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
14-3. That's the score at halftime between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Red Sox trail 6-1. Bases loaded, though. of the season. The 3 walks are concerning, but overall, I thought he was pretty good. And if you think about his season, I know his record's 11-9, but that 3.35 ERA I think is very good. Bayo needed to take the next step this year. He did. He had some really good streaks. Him and Giolito really helped balance that Red Sox top of the rotation there. So a young pitcher for the Red Sox with success, that's what you want. Bayo's locked up to a nice little deal. Tonight's a little disappointing, though. There was no hit through 6 innings. Perfect game through 6 innings. So it looks like tomorrow night the Red Sox will have a chance once again to clinch a playoff spot. They will. It's just a little disappointing, though, that they didn't take care of business tonight. So they wrap up the season now against Detroit. So they'll play tomorrow night on Apple TV+. Saturday, they play at 4 o'clock, and the final game of the year is Sunday. So it sounds like, Skaz, they just need to win a game, or Houston loses a game. Is that it? So they need to get a win here. And who's going tomorrow night? So you got Bayo. You've already had Giolito. I forget how they were going to work out the rest of the year now because of if they were clinching, maybe things would be different. So right now it's scheduled to be Kyle Harrison. They could use him tomorrow night in a big spot. So Blue Jays essentially the division leader in the AL East. And the wild card, Yankees have the lead. Red Sox just 1 game ahead of the Tigers. The Astros still 1 game back. So Yankees have clinched. Blue Jays have clinched. Mariners have clinched. Waiting on the Guardians, Tigers, Red Sox. We'll see how it all breaks down this weekend. We got the musings. I'm Joe Murray, and this hour of the Sports Hub has been brought to you by our good friends. Of course, they are our good friends over at Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray.
Headlines, they are brought to you by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning, day or night, always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. I'm Joe Murray. Here's the musings.
This is what happens when analysts take over the game, take over the sport.
This is where you talk sports.
It happens all the time.
The Sports Hub.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I wanted to react to something, and I hope we can talk about something, even though they might be an advertiser. But Live Nation CEO says that concerts are underpriced and in demand, and that with the fees and everything, they're actually not making enough. And I don't know. Like, I don't know the business side of it. Maybe he's right. This is why I want to be open to the discussion. But, there's been a lot of concerts and, there's a lot of fees involved. If you want to go to a Taylor Swift concert, you're paying tons of money. Beyonce, huge money, right? The average price of a concert ticket, and I think it was for a sporting event, was $72. And there's a lot of reports out there about stadium shows, and stadium shows $128, an arena's $98, the amphitheater's $70, a theater's $75, a club is $43. Like, these are somewhat the estimates of lowest price you can to get in. And the CEO was Rapino. I forget the first name, but Michael Rapino, that concerts are still underpriced. He acknowledged that prices are rising. Much of that is due to the type of production many of the world's biggest artists aim for. He noted that Beyonce had 62 transport trucks in the recent tour. In the Super Bowl, it's big money. She had 10 trucks. So the reason why I want to tread lightly on this one is, we work in the entertainment business, and if you want us to come to a bar, or you got to pay for the appearance, you got to pay for, now we got to set it up there, we got to make sure we get the line in there, we have to pay a street team in there, we have to have someone back here. There's a lot involved, guys. Like, this is why there's costs involved. If I take all that out of it, do you feel as though concert prices and just tickets and sports in general are, do you think they're overpriced right now?
Wildly.
I'll tell you, WWE tickets are expensive as hell. I went to WrestleMania this year, and it was very expensive. And I can't go to Saudi Arabia. Like, it's too expensive. It's going to be too expensive.
As a consumer, there's nothing that, I don't know, irritates me from a consumer standpoint than someone who makes $32 million a year tells me something is underpriced and should be, charged more for. I just don't know if you're living in reality there.
Yep. And I like Live Nation. I like all these. I got to go somewhere. I have had relationships with StubHub and other types of outlets over the years. It is increasingly unstable, I would say, like, to go with the market on ticket prices. But as we get older, Skaz, does this make you not want to go out as much?
Certainly.
Absolutely. So this is why I think the streams and everything that they're getting us somewhere, Skaz. It's whether we buy a ticket to the game or I need to watch it on an app. I'm not saying that to, like, damn the man or anything like that. It's just that if you want to watch something or have something, there is a cost involved for them to do it, which is why we have to pay for it. So I do think things are wildly overpriced. Absolutely. At the same time, I'm on the flip side of it, knowing that, this radio stations, guys, we have to pay the bills, run the lights, making sure that the tower is ready to go, that's in somewhere else, and pay engineers on a retainer and like all that stuff. I don't feel bad for anybody. I'm just trying to tell you that there is a cost involved. It's an interesting discussion. And let's not forget, I believe there was a couple of lawsuits about some places becoming a monopoly. We know Ticketmaster, Live Nation, all that. They've denied any allegations of them, operating as a monopoly. But the ticket stuff is hard conversation to have. Because here's the deal, right? If you want to go to something, don't you want them to take your money? Like if I could get Crochet Scooble on Sunday, 1-game playoff into the Fenway, do you want to go, Skez? Scooble Crochet, 1-game playoff into the thing.
No. This Sunday?
Yeah.
The Ryder Cup is on, Joe. Yeah.
Okay, how about a ticket to the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's a pretty penny.
But would you want it? Would you pay it? You had an opportunity to go, but you had to pay for the ticket.
Depends on how much it was.
What if it's $285?
$285. Sunday singles. Okay, I'm probably doing it. It's a once in a lifetime bucket list type of thing. Yeah, but you're going to pay double that for ALDS tickets this year.
I mean, the Celtics tickets raised because the team has been very good, but they're without their star player. I looked at those tickets today. Ooh, boy. Not cheap. I mean, I told you I was a season ticket holder for years. It was like $3,500 to get the games. People didn't want to go to the games.
Cheapest ticket I'm seeing for the Ryder Cup right now looks to be about $760.
Whoa.
It looks like for Friday.
So would you do that?
No. $956 I'm seeing.
But if you could go Friday, Saturday, Sunday for like $2,500, would you do it?
No. You're talking to a man who doesn't make a lot of money, Joe.
Hey, listen, the WrestleMania this year, I had to go. It was in Vegas. It's very hard. Very hard. So I can imagine that it's... yeesh. When I saw that one, though, people were in uproar about these comments. I just feel like you got to be a little... I know it's expensive, everybody. But I'm not saying I'm in the meat... I mean, yeah, we work in the media, but I'm not... we don't need to... We do need to pay for a street team. We need to pay for the election. I know there's a lot there. I just want to be open to the fact that they're not... We're not just paying these to, like... You're paying them because you're going to get a good show. This is what I'm worried about with WWE, by the way, with wrestling. Wrestling's going to price itself out to the point where you're going to lose the average or the super fan that likes to go. Like me. Tell us about the Ryder Cups, guys. Who's favored?
Shockingly, the United States is favored, Joe, which is very surprising to me. I have on paper, I mean, not even just on paper, but in reality, it's stacked. Team Europe is absolutely stacked. The U.S. has guys like Cam Young, Sam Burns, J.J. Spawn, Russell Henley, guys that I don't want to call them no names, but they're certainly not your typical, Ryder Cup names that we're used to. It's not Tiger, Phil, or even Spieth, and Thomas will be there, but yeah, I'm a little surprised by the numbers that are coming out. Team USA has lost on home soil before. It is very rare. I think it's only happened a handful of times, 3 times, I believe. I don't think the U.S. has ever won on foreign soil, so you have to think they're going to, at least half. I will be very heavily interested. I enjoy rooting against Rory McIlroy, so this is a great week for that because you get to do it, patriotically and not just personally, which is nice. You get Bryson and JT first off tomorrow morning, 7:10, I believe it is. That third match looks like they may be using as kind of a throwaway, but those are the ones that, maybe they end up winning. So who knows? But yeah, Sunday singles start at noon, I believe, on Sunday. We'll be absolutely locked into that. It's going to be a good one, Joe. Bethpage Black, Captain Keegan, friend of the Sports Hub, friend of 98.5 and Felger and Maz. He is the captain, local guy, kind of. He wants the crowd to be very rowdy, extremely rowdy, and I think you're going to get that at Bethpage. I think it's going to be, taunting, chanting, even though the U.S. fans kind of stink at doing the whole soccer chants and all that. I think it's going to be one of the more hyped up crowds you've seen at a Ryder Cup in quite some time, which I think is a good thing. Golf needs it. So anytime you can get these guys together. The big controversy, though, this year, Joe, I don't know if you've seen any of this, is paying players for paying in the Ryder Cup. So Team USA will be getting paid, and Team Europe has declined getting paid, and they're taking it as the moral high road, all that stuff. The guys on Team USA, I believe, are getting anywhere between $200,000 to $500,000, and I believe all of them are donating it to charity for the most part. But to Team Europe taking the high road here, if that's what you want to call it, I think NBC's doing all right. I think the tens of millions of dollars for the Ryder Cup TV coverage, I think it's okay if the players get, $200,000. I'm okay with it.
Do I have to pay to watch it, or is it on regular television?
No, it'll be on regular television, Joe. So you can watch the Ryder Cup, but you might not be able to watch the Red Sox clinch the playoffs.
Okay. Well, give me the Ryder Cup. All right. Anything else you want to vent about? Everything good?
I saw 3 accidents on my way to work today. That was kind of a pain.
Hey, with the rain.
Yeah, rain. Took me about an hour and 20, 25 minutes to get here.
The humidity today was very hot.
Yeah, it was a little gross out there. But I will say, Joe, as a homeowner now, no water in the basement, which I was, it poured last night. You never know. It was dry down there, so we'll take it.
All right. We have birthdays to get to. Who's a bigger birthday today? Will Smith or Mark Hamill?
That's not a serious question, right?
Let's lead it off with Michael Douglas, 81 years old today. Mark Hamill, you heard it there. The Darth Vader voice. I am your father. 74 years old. There's a lot of fun facts about him. Heather be thy name. Heather Locklear, 63 years old today. Will Smith, 57 years old today. Catherine Zeta-Jones, 56. Donald Glover, 42 years old today. Barbara Walters, 96 years old today. Christopher Reeve was his birthday. Michael Madsen as well. Chauncey Billups, 49 years old today. T.I., 45. Bella Ramsey, she is from Game of Thrones and This Is Us.
The Last of Us.
When I say This Is Us,
This Is Us.
This Is Us was Channel 5, ABC, with, I remember the show. It's 22.
Scottie Pippen's 60th birthday today.
Whoa, what's he doing tonight?
Could only imagine, Joe. It is Rocco Baldelli's birthday today.
Rhode Island. Watched him play once, throw a guy out in right field, and I went, who's that guy? And yeah, he got drafted in the top 5.
Did you say Donald Glover?
Donald Glover, yep.
Childish Gambino.
Man, I loved Michael Madsen, dude. Passed away recently, right?
I believe so,
Reservoir
Joe.
Dogs and some other movies.
May have mentioned this man on the show tonight. It is Matt Hasselbeck's birthday today.
No way. Savarian brother played for the Seahawks are in action tonight.
It is also John Lynch's birthday today, former Patriot for
he spoke recently.
A very short time.
Something.
Brock Purdy? I don't know.
I think it might have been somebody came out and said that the Jaguars have been cheating for a long time or something. I don't know. I thought I saw something about that.
It's not working. The Jaguars are cheating.
Works for the Patriots, though, huh? Just don't tell Tom Brady that. All right, there's the musings, everybody. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray.
here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Red Sox lose tonight 6-1. They have 3 games remaining against the Tigers. They win one game they're in. There are some other things. Houston could lose, and they could be in the playoffs. So that happened tonight. We talked a ton of Patriots tonight. We did Vrabel versus Ben Johnson. We did who's better this year, Josh McDaniels or Mike Vrabel. Also wanted to just mention in the Thursday night football game, Seattle has a 17-6 lead. But when I tell... So Chad Ryland just hit a 57-yard field goal right down the middle. Beautiful. Remember him, everybody? Chad Ryland, drafted by the Patriots.
Might have cost you Jaden Daniels.
It did. That's right. He's been a good kicker. I got to tell you, he's been really good. Kyler Murray's a problem for the Cardinals, and I don't know how they get out of it. He's not the guy. He makes too many mistakes, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's been questioned about his film room, playbook, that type of determination when it comes to learning the playbook and putting effort in. And I'm telling you, you can tell tonight, there was a flea flicker they just tried to run. Completely bad call. Stupid play. I don't know if the offensive coordinator can work with this kid. Do I think he's uber talented and probably one of the fastest running back quarterbacks in the league? Yes. They can't win with him. And it's funny because when we talked to Alex Barth earlier tonight, he was talking about when the league somewhat went towards drafting the smaller, shorter, really gifted quarterback. I mean, if you know something about Kyler Murray in college, he whipped the ball around. He was very good. And again, former baseball player, had a chance to go pro, went number 1 overall. I think he made the right choice.
There was a time where there was an argument Kyler Murray was a top 5 athlete on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Like Heisman winner, first-round draft pick, MLB. He was the 0.01% of 0.01%.
Would you rather Kyler Murray or Bryce Young?
I think Bryce Young.
Me too. Do I think he's a better, maybe a better athlete?
He's definitely
Kyler
a better
Murray?
athlete.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not a better quarterback.
He's not a better quarterback. And I hate to use this. I'm not a sizist. As a big man, not a sizist. He doesn't have the mental. He doesn't focus enough to me. And listen, baseball is a very mental sport. Hey, what am I going to do when the ball comes to me? That kind of thing. I don't know if he actually... I think he thinks he can use his ability. That's his problem.
The Cardinals have a history with guys like this, too. Josh Rosen was another guy where, look the part.
Chosen Rosen
had the hot tub in his college dorm, right?
Maserati Marv looks like Mitsubishi Marv.
This is, brutal.
No, shout out to my guys over at Misho Mitsubishi. No offense. It's just one of the Maserati. I just didn't want anybody offended on that one.
Where's Gus Johnson when you need him?
I know. But, the Cardinals have tried, man. And they got, the former offensive coordinator from the Eagles, from their one of their playoff teams. Just, it's not working, man. It's not working there. I've talked about the Steelers and the Dolphins having a ceiling. The Dolphins need to, at some point, got to start moving on from guys. I can tell you with certainty the Cardinals don't have it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll have a 30-point performance one night, and they'll show you a little glimpse of something. That dude don't have it. 617-779-0985. Bob's in Lawrence. What's up, Bob?
Joe, my man, how you doing tonight?
How you doing?
I'm talking, your music conversation got me going. I'm 51 years old. I've been to probably 100 concerts. I am out on going to Gillette Stadium or Great Woods, Comcast Center, whatever it's called now, anymore. It's too expensive. It's too long of a night. The best place, I think, to go see a show now is the MGM Fenway.
I haven't been there
that
yet.
Venue.
Heard it's great.
It's incredible because it's 5,000 seats, but all the seats are really close to the stage. And you don't have to wait that long to get in. And the tickets, I've seen Arcade Fire, Queens of the Stone Age, Frank Turner, a couple other shows there, and the tickets really aren't that expensive.
How do you get there? Do you park or do you train?
I've been lucky. I always grab a spot on Com Ave or Beacon Street or something like that.
Yeah.
And I know there's obviously garages there, but yeah, it's a great place to see a show.
I was going to mention Fenway, dude. Like Ipswich Garage sometimes isn't open over there. Like I don't know where you park anymore for an event because they've built so much of it up. You know.
Oh, it's way gentrified. It's ridiculous. Not like when we were younger, but no, I always got lucky. I just always grab, if you don't mind walking a mile or whatever. Yeah, there's always spots.
Like when
they never have it when the Sox are in town. It's very rare that they have a show there when the Sox are home.
When did The Town come out? What movie? What year was that? Was that 10 years?
2010.
Okay, so 15. You've seen The Town, obviously, when they're leaving the fight scene when he's walking down the street with a duffel bag of money. And he's hiding like in front of the McDonald's there behind like a trash barrel.
Yep.
Like it doesn't even look like that anymore, dude.
Oh, no way. I mean, Boylston Street is completely like it's all these chains. It's boring. I mean, it's just not the same, and you can't afford anything there. It's no fun.
Well, I appreciate.
Give me the Rat. Give me the dirty old Kenmore Square.
Oh, the dirty old Kenmore, huh? The Machine was there. Baseball Tavern was one of my spots.
Yeah, Copperfield's the whole nine. I mean,
man. I used to do Friday nights for home games at Copperfield's at 1510.
Oh, at the Zone, yeah.
Yeah, I worked there.
Were you there when Mike Adams was there?
No, he did mornings. But I got there. I was 07, so they just lost the Celtics. So they lost a lot of money when they lost the Celtics. But I was there, like the diehards were there. If you know, like John Anik, Anthony Pepe, Kevin Winter. Who else was a part of that? Who's Todd McShay was a part of that. Ryan Russillo.
Oh yeah, Ryan Russillo. Yeah,
all that crew.
Was Eddie Edelman? Did he own that station or something?
Yeah,
or
he had a bunch of shows there. I somewhat interned on one of their shows. But yeah, Eddie, he used to do the Sports Huddle. If you remember that.
I know he went to, a lot of people went from EI to the.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hang up on you. I just didn't want to talk about the competition. I love you, Bob. Thank you. Did we just go back in the day there? The back in the day Joe Murray buffet.
There you go. There's a bit for you.
Maserati Mav. He don't look good tonight.
It's looking like Home Alone Marv tonight.
Marv was which one was Joe Pesci?
Not Marv.
So Marv was
Daniel.
Yeah, that guy.
Stern. Is that right? Something like that.
Daniel Stern. He got the iron to the face.
He got the iron to the face.
He also took his socks off with the basement.
Yes.
And a couple of paint cans.
He was the Wet Bandits. He was turning the sinks on.
And then
It's his calling card.
And then they wanted to become the Sticky Bandits. I always liked when... I don't know why. I can't talk about this. Your very own pizza. This is Kevin McAllister, the father. I always loved when Joe Pesci in that movie, whenever he got mad, he was always like... Maserati Mav is definitely Mitsubishi Marv right now. I am. If I'm a Cardinals fan or like worked for the media, this might be a day where who's the backup? Who's the backup? Give me the backup quarterback for the Cardinals. Clayton Tune, I bet. I haven't looked yet. I'm waiting for my
Joe.
Yeah.
How about Jacoby Brissett?
Get out of here! Get out of here! Jacoby Brissett's the backup. Put him in.
Put him in.
Put him in. You got to be kidding me. I don't know why I said Clayton Tune. How old is that? Is that old? Is that years ago? Jacoby Brissett's the backup for the Cardinals? That's mind-boggling.
Clayton Tune is on the Green Bay Packers practice squad.
Yeah, he sucks.
Jacoby Brissett, Joe. Bring him in.
Bring him in. Matt is in North Reading. Hello, Matt.
Joe, I love the Joe Murray Show.
How you doing?
What's up, my friend?
How you doing?
How you been, all right?
Yeah.
What's up, Skaz?
Where are you coming from tonight? The casino again?
No. Just the convenience store tonight, Joe. I had to get myself a $50 scratch ticket, see if I can win it big.
Do you want to do it while you're on the phone?
No. I have a little ritual. Thank you, though, Joe.
Well, okay. May I ask what the scratch ticket scratching ritual is?
I don't know. I know you like to. Dabble in things. I'll just say that.
Okay.
I think you were somewhere last Saturday, somewhere promoting something.
Yeah.
I think you were somewhere out in Marlboro.
Yeah,
Let's just say that, okay?
I'm gonna be there again on the 18th of October.
Oh, maybe I'll come out and visit.
That'd be
if
cool.
I'm in the area. Marlboro's not really close to North Reading, though, so I got to be in the area.
It is not close, but it's
not close to Peabody either, Joe.
No, but you know what? I go to North Reading still. I love. They have a great little Five Below over there. And a
You mean the
Walmart.
dollar store? What do you mean? The dollar store next to Walmart?
Store.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes.
Did you ever hear of Lord Murray's Cup before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so years ago when the Bruins went to the Stanley Cup, I went to that dollar store. I bought a bunch of Tupperware and a bunch of tinfoil and tape. And I made a Stanley Cup, and I called it Lord Murray's Cup. It was beautiful, dude. And I got it all from the dollar store. I'll tweet it out, but there's an account, a Twitter account for it.
That is awesome. So, Joe, I got a great story about Lord Stanley's Cup. When my son, who's now 14, was 6 months old, I have a picture of him in the cup with me and Claude putting him into the cup.
Whoa, Claude, huh?
I had a special invitation to Claude's backyard in Lexington when they won the Stanley Cup in 2011.
Aren't you special?
Aren't I special, Joe?
I met the Cup once.
But
I only met the Cup once. It was at Doyle's in Jamaica Plain. And John Torchetti was an assistant coach for the Chicago Blackhawks, and he brought it to Doyle's, and I got to see it.
Oh, that's excellent, Joe. Hey, Joe, I wanted to call you last night because you were wishing an old friend of mine a happy birthday.
Who was it?
And that is Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, local gal.
So I got a great story for you, Joe.
Okay.
Honest to God, okay?
Let's do it.
Back probably 1995, 96, my buddy went to Wentworth.
Mm-hmm.
One of his good friends went to BU.
Mm-hmm.
One of his good friends happened to be really good friends with Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, yeah, no, I have friends that were friends
back in
with her as well.
college,
Yep.
she hung out with us like one of the guys.
I can probably confirm that.
Like one of the guys, Joe. And she didn't look like she looked now, Joe. You wouldn't even look twice at her back then, Joe.
No, that's not true. She's a beautiful woman.
Not back then, Joe. She
Doesn't
wasn't
matter.
a beautiful woman back then.
She's got a great heart.
I know, Joe. I agree. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Back then, when I was a 19-year-old kid and a sophomore in college visiting my buddy at Wentworth, I wasn't.
You weren't looking for the right things back then, bro.
Exactly, but she was definitely one of the guys. I can tell you that right now, Joe. She was a party animal.
Okay.
Definitely was.
Anything else tonight?
But Joe, Sox clinch tomorrow, and guess what the worst thing about it is, Joe?
It's on Apple TV.
I don't have Apple TV, just like the rest of the world, and I won't be able to get to watch it. I'll have to listen to freaking Will Fleming.
No, you don't. Just listen to us. I had to hang up on you because you're the second person in back-to-back calls to mention our competition. Don't listen to them. Listen to me. Me. Skaz.
Couple trips in the Wayback Machine there, Joe. I'm going way back.
Sure you want. I don't know if I want to go back there anymore.
And before my time.
Oh, Remember I told you the
A
story?
local girl.
Remember I told you I hung out with JTT one night?
Oh, Jonathan. Yes.
Jonathan. Well, he hung out with Stephanie McMahon. I guess he topped me. You know. Well, I hope he gets really high and scratches winners and then shares with us. Let's go to the headline here. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Thursday night football. Seahawks have a 17-6 lead over the Cardinals right now. 11 minutes to go in that one. Kyler Murray has struggled. Sam Darnold with a touchdown pass in this one. Patriots getting ready for the Panthers on Sunday. Gerald Wilson? No, Gerald was the name of Jared. See what Zoe did? He's not going to play. Headlines. They are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Red Sox. Slide through the rest of the season with the solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Solak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
I'm hanging out with the people in chat right now, and we're talking about the games we played growing up. I don't know. So I grew up in the city, so we used to play like Capture the Flag, Bombardment, whatever the hell that was.
Manhunt? Did you guys play Manhunt?
I don't know. We used to play Relivio? What the hell was that? Foursquare?
Foursquare, yes.
I loved
Red Rover.
Yeah, we did that. In school.
Pickleball?
Oh, yeah. Oh, pickleball? Wait, what? You played pickleball?
Yeah.
No, we didn't. I grew up in the 90s, man.
I'm not thinking of the actual, like, tennis pickleball. I'm thinking of, like, pickle. Did you guys play pickle?
Oh, pickle. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, that was great.
You're basically just between two bases.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, all the time.
Wall ball.
Off the wall ball? Oh, yeah. Well, we called it suicide.
We called it, yeah. I probably can't call it that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What do they call it now?
We called it wall ball.
Yeah, like you would throw it off the wall, and then if you
didn't catch it
you'd
cleanly,
have to run to the wall and
touch the wall. Yep.
Got you on that one. Kickball was always fun. Dodgeball. I'm trying to think of what other games we played. We should do something with a jump rope. I can't remember what it was. Foursquare though, that was a cool one.
A lot of knockout, but that was like a little older.
Yeah, knockout was cool. I think that's it. 90s pickleball, people are calling it.
Yeah.
Ooh, kick the can.
Yeah, not a lot of kick the can.
Someone said, what the hell is Ghost in the Graveyard?
I don't know that one. Or like Sharks and Minnows, I feel like.
We used to play stickball. We would actually use a hockey stick. We'd cut off the blade of a hockey stick. We'd make our own grip, and then we would cut, I believe, a racquetball in half. We'd spin it sideways, and that was stickball. It's hard to play because you had to have good hand-eye, and the ball was so small. Anyways, they got me going in here now.
Way back tonight, the way back machine.
Would you ever cut a wiffle ball in half and play that like that?
I've science experiments with wiffle ball bats, but never.
Yeah, I used to cut the top off of a bat and stuff it with newspaper. Made it weighted and then taped that
Corked
bad
bat?
boy up. Oh, yeah, we used to, yeah.
I had a buddy who made a potato cannon out of a wiffle ball bat and a Gatorade bottle.
No, we made a potato. Well, again, when we went down, we had to leave the city to do this. But I believe it was either Marshfield or Wareham. I can't remember. But our friends made a potato cannon out of like a pipe.
A PVC? Yeah, we got one of those too.
Shot that thing off on July 4th.
That thing made it during the move somehow. Still have it.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Did you find anything during the move?
That was one where I like sent a picture of it to my buddies. Was like, can't believe I still have this. I found like an old bong. I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's still there, I guess.
Got to bring that over.
Yeah.
Put some flowers in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think my girlfriend's grandmother was like unwrapping stuff and almost unwrapped that. And I was like, oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, Joe, your guy.
Mitsubishi Marv just became Maserati Marv.
Yeah, like old pictures and stuff. Nothing too crazy I found, though. Like, yeah, some cool memorabilia. Like my dad, like I had some stuff from my dad because we both, like I moved and he moved to New York at like the same time. So some of his old a bunch of old like Celtics and Bruins autographs that I got to identify. I don't know how, real they are. I did find a Lynn Byers one, which was kind of cool. But yeah, nothing remarkable.
It's a trip down memory lane. Memory lane?
Imagine if the Pats drafted Marv at 3.
Just thinking about that tonight a little while ago. Would you rather Drake May or Marvin Harrison?
Drake May.
Me too. I felt like that at the time. I've always... Listen, did I think Marvin Harrison was the best actual player in the draft? I did. What about this year? Have you watched any Abdul Carter at all?
His name hasn't.
Thibodeau looked good, though.
Yeah.
I watched him the other night.
Hey, Will Campbell's been really good.
Well, so actually, I disagree.
You don't think so?
He's
been better than I thought.
How about this? Will Campbell is not their problem.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of all you could ask for a rookie left tackle through 3 games.
I want him to be more physical, but Skaz, the delayed stunt, he doesn't know how to protect his zone, dude. It drives me crazy. Like when you're a left tackle, dude, You need to have inside protection and outside zone. And I know this is boring to some people. But when there's a stunt, you have to stay in your zone. You can't just block down. You have to stay home. And he hasn't hurt them. Well, he hurt them in the Miami game, I would say. When the money was on the line, he hurt them. It didn't cost them last game. And dude, maybe it is him and Wilson are like rookies trying to figure it out. So maybe, he's overcompensating for the one or the other. But without Wilson this week and Ben Brown in there, I think Derek Brown's a problem, bro. That guy's, to me, Barth said it himself. He might be the best. Imagine if your defensive end is the best player on the team. Well, they just had that, right? Actually, two people they've played this year. It's been that. Max Crosby and TJ Watt. And now it's going to be Brown.
I don't even know who the best player on the Dolphins is anymore.
It's probably Tyreek Hill.
Probably.
I like Jalen Phillips a lot, but it's probably not Tyreek Hill. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. I got a thought on the Patriots and selling and Tom Brady and all that. We'll wrap this thing up. Where's Brissett? Oh, no. Kyler Murray threw the touchdown. Wait, are they reviewing this? Touchdown. We need more points, Skaz. What's the score right now? I'll give it to you on the other side. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way.
Some guy goes, wow, you aren't from Peabody. He goes, Relievio is a game that was played from people on I think he means Quincy. Yes, I'm not from Peabody. I just live there now. And I said, I'm from Hyde Park. I used to go to 7-Eleven for slush puppies and the Villa Rosa. And he goes, you are the best. So thank you, Chris. Yes, I grew up in Hyde Park. And we'd meet the kids at the Dedham Bridge. And then we'd cut through East Milton Square. And we'd go to 7-Eleven because they had Slurpees there. That's what we did for fun back then. Or we could take the train from Forest Hills to anywhere, or we could, go to Dedham. It's pretty much where we went. And now Legacy Place used to be a giant movie theater where we would do donuts in the parking lot when it snowed. We could take the bus there. Now it's a gigantic Capitol Grill in a mall. Anyways, 20-13, the football game. Can the Cardinals tie it? Tomorrow night, it is 4th and Friday. Now, don't ask me what 4th and Friday means. It means nothing at all. So we're just going to keep the tradition going unlike any other. Skaz is going to be watching the Ryder Cup all day tomorrow, so I'm sure we'll get some Ryder Cup stuff. I'm going to reach out to Mike Cadlick. He does Pizza Fridays, so can only imagine what kind of pizza he's going to have tomorrow night. And it's going to be a lot of Panthers and a lot of Patriots, and hopefully it will be the Red Sox hat and T-shirt night as they send their trade acquisition, Kyle Harrison, to the mound. He was a part of the Rafael Devers trade. It's a big night. They have 3 games to go against the Tigers. They just need one or a Houston loss, and the Red Sox will be in the playoffs. So that is it for tonight. Again, we're going to get a nice little outcome here to the football game. 20-13 Steelers. The Cardinals are driving. There's a review about a big catch that just happened to get Arizona in Seattle territory. So that is it from us. We'll have a little bit more on the Celtics and the Patriots moves that happened today regarding ownership